Morning, people. It is... the mic sound weird, or is my voice?
No, it's just the speaker is up a bit, so you're hearing your voice.
Morning, people. It is Wednesday, the 2nd of October. Welcome to TDA, the day after. Your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And I'm one of your hosts for today, my own royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
That's right. Good morning. Brent is also here.
Morning. How are you?
Blessed and highly favoured. How are you?
I am also blessed and highly favoured.
Wonderful.
Such a fantastic thing to say in response to how are you, right?
It is, especially when you're feeling it.
Especially if you mean it, yes.
Did you just say it?
I could just say it, but...
You mean it? It hits different.
I mean it. How are you, Manuel?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Can't
Can't
complain.
Yep.
I see you wearing a hat again today.
Me?
Did you remember to exchange it out?
Nah, I just thought it was mine now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And is that how you
Say
asked for
something
yesterday?
loud. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a TMB hat?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a team. It is a TMB hat, yes. But it's
I like
my
it.
hat.
Yeah, but it's got the TMB on the logo, like very small over there.
Yes.
There's
It's,
the opposite. That's really nice. Are you making more of those?
if you want me to,
But I like soft hats though.
that's why I did it.
Was that soft? Is that a soft hat? Because you know some hats are molded
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
and they're just like, and I feel like it doesn't work with females' head,
So you want a saggy hat?
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, cloth. Just
Oh, I know what you're
straight
talking about. Okay.
cotton.
Yeah, actually, I feel like that will work because that molds the shape of my head, and I feel like it works for women better than the proper constructed ones.
How would you wear it as a look? That saggy hat?
So I'd wear it with this, for example. I'd wear it with anything. Go with a crop top, anything. Obviously, I wouldn't wear it with a suit. I wouldn't wear it with a fancy dress.
Okay, so y'all don't like any form. Is this form? But any structure, firmness.
Because sometimes you can get ones that like, they've got some structure, they're just not as strict. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Some of them are really like hard structure.
Yeah.
And there's no room for bending.
Yeah.
So whether your head is floating, whether your head is too big or small, the hat's gonna look the same.
Yeah.
But some of them with the women's one, it doesn't have to be, it's not all the way saggy.
Yeah.
It's just softer.
Yeah. But did you see any on the site I gave you?
Yes, I think I did, but then I just assumed that they would all have. Actually, I didn't pick any beanie hats, did I?
You didn't.
No, I didn't.
You didn't put any tote bag?
Did I not? Oh,
And I had to pick a tote bag for you.
then pick one for me.
No,
I
as
will pick it.
in on the women's behalf. But then again, I saw a man, and in fact, I saw Cahill rocking a tote bag a couple weeks back.
Yeah, because tote bags are just to carry your goods, and everyone's got goods.
I didn't know men carried it like that. But now I
Like
know.
how?
Yeah, I was just about to say, like what?
So he had it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not a handbag; it's a bag. A bag is a bag is a bag. It's not a handbag.
So is that how you'd carry it?
That's
Me?
you.
Might do.
A
As
tote
long,
bag?
as long as it's not over this part.
Do you think that's what? Do you think that's feminine?
I can't do that.
Why?
I will feel away.
What way?
I'm destructively conditioned.
To
I haven't shaken that bit
how
yet.
would you feel?
I'd feel like I am my mummy, my mother.
Nah, we had mummies, right?
No, that's how I say. I say mummy. I say daddy. But
That's interesting.
I shouldn't have used that word then. My mother.
Why do you keep telling people to redefine what femininity and masculinity
So
means? You
I
guys.
understand all of that, but
No, you don't. Because
No,
here you
I-
are, no one to carry a bag.
here it is. I don't usually, and I have never used a bag like that before. So
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the time to basically change my mind about it, right?
Fair.
So when I've now seen it, in my mind, the only way you can rock it is to put it like this
Okay.
and then walk about.
So if you were to carry one, how would you hold it? Just in your hand?
Right now, 100%. I'll just like that, and then I'm hold it for
Is
something.
your hand like that, or is your hand straight down?
I would have to scrunch it up.
Yeah, the handles. innit?
Yeah. I'd have to scrunch it up.
Like a criminal?
Maybe.
No, not maybe. If I see a guy with a tote bag and you've scrunched up when you could just hold it down, Because you could just hold it
Yeah.
down. Like, it wouldn't drag on the feet.
Yeah.
On the floor, sorry.
Yeah.
But you decided to scrunch it to...
Yeah. And if it's too heavy and I have other things to hold, I'd put it around my neck and behind my back.
What?
I'd put it
All
around
this to avoid your shoulders.
Yeah, I can't do that just yet because I need time. I need time. But I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to basically rocking it like Cahill. But,
Like a normal person, yeah.
okay, I can't just do it just yet. Depends on, I won't rock tote bags like that anyway.
Fair.
And if, I've just seen it. See growth? If I'm going up on a picnic and I have the tote bag full out to the brim, like it's bulging, I can see myself putting it on my shoulder because I would have a backpack on and another bag on my left.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that works too.
Where are you going with all this stuff, though, man?
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just imagining how
you'd have to do it.
I become a 21st century man.
Because you know they're stealing now. They're robbing people in London. So when you want to carry your little fancy iPad around the place, you're the first victim. Then people on the bikes are coming for. So you might want to get yourself a tote bag.
Sorry? I would definitely not put an iPad in a tote bag and walk around London. I'll put
you
it
ever
in
hold
a
it?
rucksack.
Oh, yeah, but in the event that you can either carry a tote bag or hold
With
it.
my hand?
Or hold it. What are you doing?
I will hold it.
Yeah, you're getting robbed. I will be the one to rob you. Then I'll come in here the next day with the same iPad.
For a tote bag, it would need to have heft to it for me to put my iPad in it. I can't just put my solitary iPad in there and walk around and think it's safe.
Fair.
I would always think it might fall out or something.
Other end.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Let me just put the ticker up.
Yes.
Happy Independence Day to Guinea.
Big up Guinea. Do you know any Guineans?
I do, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know people from Guinea,
So you're well versed in Africa, aren't you?
Guinea Conakry, and
Guinea?
Guinea-Bissau.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, the tote bag that we're going to have on our store is thick.
Yeah,
We're only going to do quality
well,
stuff.
I will see what tote
you-
bag he picked.
You want a saggy baggy? You can't have a saggy tote bag, man.
No, it's nothing to do with a saggy tote bag. It's that I don't know what tote bag you picked.
Oh, it's
So
a
I
proper
will
one.
look-
Like proper.
That's debatable. So I will have a look.
Alright. We'll see.
I said tote bag.
We'll see.
Like if all of you have no
We're
problems.
only giving you quality, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Only quality.
100%.
Even the tees, the hoodies, the GSM count is mwah, superb.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah,
All right.
kiss Guinea.
Yes.
Oh dear.
All right, people. Obviously, like we mentioned yesterday, this is Black History Month, and we're going to be highlighting some of the unsung heroes that have contributed to the world that are black. Basically, those people that if they didn't exist, if their contributions were not realized, the world would be different, right? So today, we're going to be speaking about a gentleman by the name of Lewis Latimer. So obviously, most of us have heard of Thomas Edison, the man who invented light bulbs.
Allegedly.
Exactly. A few of us have heard of Lewis Latimer. So he was born in Chelsea, Massachusetts, and he was the son of formerly enslaved parents, right, who had escaped to freedom. Despite facing racial discrimination, pretty much like every black person during the time, Latimer joined the US Navy at the age of 16 in September of 1864, and he served as a landsman. Basically, that's a seaman with less than a year's experience, right? So after receiving an honorable discharge in the following year, in July 1865, he gained employment as an office boy with a patent law firm called Crosby, Halstead and Gold. And he was only getting $3 per week salary. Obviously, the amount of money was meant different things back then, right? But whilst he was there, this is when he learned how to use a set square, ruler, and other drafting tools, yeah? Later, after his boss recognized his talent for sketching patent drawings, Latimer was promoted to the position of the head draftsman. In 1876, this is when things started to accelerate for him, yeah? He then helped draft a patent for Alexander Graham Bell's telephone, right? Later, he worked with Hiram Maxim and Thomas Edison in the field of electric lighting. And he patented an improved process for producing carbon filaments for light bulbs in 1881, which made bulbs more durable and efficient. And this invention was a key improvement to Thomas Edison's design. Yes, there he is on the screen, and helped bring electric lighting to the masses. You hear that? So throughout his career, he continued to work on innovations in lighting and other technologies, and he was securing several patents for people, right? He also wrote a book titled Incandescent Electric Lighting, which explained, kind of in layman's terms, the technology of everything that goes into electric lighting to the public. And despite the barriers he faced, his contributions were vital to the early development of electrical systems, making him one of the key figures in the progress of modern technology. He later passed away in 1928, but obviously his legacy endures as a symbol of perseverance and innovation. His work played a critical role in shaping the technological landscape of the 19th and the 20th century. Why are his contributions important, right? So basically, like I said before, he was a self-taught engineer. His parents were formerly enslaved. He was a self-taught engineer and inventor. And like I said, he developed a patent for light bulb filaments. That's the part of the bulb, obviously, that keeps the bulb alive and keeps it glowing. He developed a patent for that. He also taught himself mechanical drawing and helped patent everything from improvements to toilets, on railroads, to telephones, to air conditioning units. He was involved in all of these things, right? And he sold this patent to the US government. And then from there, he went on to work, like I said, with Thomas Edison at the Edison Electric Light Company. And thanks to his invention, Edison was then able to develop electric lighting. And this obviously turned into something that both was practical and affordable for the public. We all rely on it today. So this was the contribution of Mr. Lewis Latimer. He also had a few quotables and famous sayings that he's known for. And he said, and stuff that he believed, and he said, we create our future by well improving present opportunities, however few and small they are. He also said, add to your faith knowledge, to knowledge add patience, to patience brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness charity. That sounds like a Bible verse, isn't it, Esther? Mm-hmm. Can't remember what it is, but yeah. And also, he also said, habit is a powerful means of advancement, habit. And that the habit of persistent effort, especially in the face of obstacles, is a valuable trait of character. So yeah, big up the legendary Lewis Latimer. And the next person we want to speak about is the legend, Ida B. Wells. So pretty much you would have heard about her. She was very influential. And she was born in Holly Springs, for those who don't know, on July 16th, 1862. And she was born into slavery during the Civil War. And once the war ended, her full name is Ida B. Wells Barnett, right? So she had the double barrel, kind of like what we were talking about yesterday. And her parents became...
Big up her.
And her parents became politically active in Reconstruction era politics. Her parents instilled in her the importance of education. So after the lynching of one of her friends, she turned her attention to white mob violence. And she became skeptical about the reasons black men were lynched. And she set out to investigate several cases. Because obviously, you know, white people back then was just lynching people for no reason. And just making up things. Exactly. Just lying. And she published all her findings in a pamphlet. And she wrote several columns in local newspapers. This is what she went out and did, right? And her expose about an 1892 lynching enraged locals who burned her press, and they drove her from Memphis. After a few months, the threats became so bad that she was forced to then move to Chicago in Illinois. And in 1895, she married an African-American lawyer by the name of Ferdinand Barnett, and together the couple fought the oppression of their people. Why is she important? Obviously, I pretty much made it clear there. But just to give you a condensed version, she was a prominent journalist, she was an activist, and she was a researcher. And this was way back in the late 19th and early 20th century. And in her lifetime, she battled sexism, racism, violence, all the stuff that women are facing today. She was there on the front line battling these things. And as a skilled writer and journalist, she basically used reporting methods that are still used today, back then, to expose the conditions that African Americans were forced to live under. And Wells Barnett, she traveled internationally. She shed light on lynching to foreign audiences, people who just didn't know about these things. She was basically doing her part to inform the world about what was happening to black people in America. And she openly confronted white women as well in the suffrage movement who ignored the lynching. So again, this is what happens when we tend to jump onto other people's movements. You know what I'm saying? The white feminist movement or the white this movement, all that sort of stuff. And then we get lost in it and then kind of help their agenda. But things that are unique to us, they forget about. She was confronting them back then. And because of her stance, she was often ridiculed and ostracized by the women's suffrage organizations in the United States. But nevertheless, she remained active in the women's rights movement. She was also the founder of the National Association of Colored Women's Club, which was created to address issues dealing with civil rights and women's suffrage. Although she was in Niagara Falls for the founding of the NAACP, her name is not mentioned as an official founder, but she was right there. You know what I'm saying? Integral to that. And some of the things that she said as well, she said, the people must know before they can act, and there's no educator to compare with the press. Again, that's just highlighting the importance of having your own media. You know what I'm saying? The people must know before they can act, and there's no educator to compare with the press. She also said the Afro-American is not a bestial race. Imagine having to say that back then. And our country's national crime is lynching. And she also said the white man's victory soon became complete by fraud, violence, intimidation, and murder. So yeah, big up the legend, Ida B. Wells.
All right, thank you very much. Let's get into our headlines for today.
All right, people. So our first headline, this is going to be linked to our topic of the day. Yeah? Israel has launched a ground operation across its northern border into Lebanon, targeting the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah, opening a new and dangerous phase in almost a year of war. The incursion, which Israel's National Security Cabinet has called the next phase of its war with Hezbollah, marks the fourth time that Israeli soldiers have publicly entered Lebanese soil in nearly 50 years, and the first since Israel's 34-day war in the country in 2006. The latest escalation comes after Israel killed Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, in an airstrike on Friday and decimated the leadership of the most powerful paramilitary force in the Middle East. Next headline, trigger warning this one, guys. And a 14-year-old schoolgirl was seriously injured in a suspected acid attack outside Westminster Academy in West London. The incident also injured a 16-year-old boy and a 27-year-old staff member. The girl remains in hospital with potentially life-changing injuries.
How mad that is.
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. The boy has non-life-changing injuries and the staff member has been discharged from the hospital. 2 police officers were taken to hospital as a precaution after feeling unwell, and the attack occurred after school hours on Monday afternoon. Police are conducting urgent inquiries to identify and arrest those responsible, and the substance is believed to be acidic, with tests ongoing. School is now closed, with lessons being moved online and staff working from home. The principal emphasised the school's priority on student welfare and urged against speculation.
That should carry a lifetime sentence, you know.
Absolutely.
Facts.
You changed my life. You changed people's lives
Yeah.
forever. You absolutely should.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Do you remember the one, I don't want to digress, but do you remember the one that happened to a black girl?
Yeah, I remember.
And it was a
My
friend.
friend. Yeah. Scary. Very, very scary.
If you guys haven't seen it, I think there's a documentary.
Yeah,
in
it was a BBC documentary on it.
Check that out. I don't have a name. Somebody in chat,
Yeah, I
please.
can't remember her name.
Please say it. Horrible.
Very
Such
horrible.
wickedness, man. Anyway, next headline. And workers should receive all tips from customers, man, under a new law which bans firms from withholding the payments, whether that's in cash or by card. More than 3 million people working in service industries in Scotland and England, Wales should benefit from the law, which comes into force on Tuesday. If companies break the law and retain the tips, staff will be able to bring claims to an employment tribunal. It also applies across industries, but it's expected to benefit those who are working in restaurants, cafes, bars, pubs, hairdressers, or as taxi drivers the most as well. Under the new law, all tips must be passed to employees by the end of the following month for when they were received. They should do that in America as well.
Stop tipping them. Just need to pay them well in America.
Exactly,
They don't have to be
100%.
tipping all up and down.
It's a damn shame, man. Next headline takes us to Kenya, where members of parliament have started a process of removing the country's deputy president from office. Those who backed the effort accuse Rigathi Gachagua, pardon me for butchering his name, of having a role in June's violent anti-government demonstrations, as well as involvement in corruption, undermining government, and promoting ethnically divisive politics, pardon me. This is a combination of a major fallout between him and the president, William Ruto. On Tuesday, the Speaker of the National Assembly allowed the impeachment proceedings to begin after a motion to start things off was backed by 291 MPs, which is way over the threshold of 117 MPs that are required. The impeachment is expected to sail through both houses of parliament easily after the main opposition joined forces with the president's party following the recent protests, but there's no date yet for when that will actually take place. Next headline, and Julian Assange is back in the news, man, and he's addressed European lawmakers, stating that he chose freedom over unrealisable justice. He pleaded guilty to US espionage accusations, believing legal and political efforts were insufficient to protect his freedom. Assange was released from prison and returned to Australia in June after a deal was struck. He admitted to seeking and obtaining information from sources and informing the public. Assange spoke at the Council of Europe, highlighting the toll of isolation on his health. A report from the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe concluded that Assange was a political prisoner and called for an inquiry into his treatment. His wife also mentioned that he needed time to regain his health and sanity after his long incarceration. WikiLeaks' most controversial leaks involved classified US military documents and videos from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and US authorities claimed that the leaks endangered national security and the lives of agents. And our last headline, hundreds of people remain missing after catastrophic flooding decimated towns, destroyed roads, and cut off power for more than 1 million homes in the US Southeast. The death toll has continued to rise since Hurricane Helene, which was later downgraded to a tropical storm, tore across the region. As of Tuesday, 135 people have been confirmed dead across 6 states, and this is a figure that they believe is expected to grow. At least 40 of those dead were in the west of North Carolina, with 300 roads remain closed, hampering recovery operations, as well as the delivery of much-needed food and water. And that's it for our headlines. It's time to pay them bills.
Thank you. Let's get into what you say in topic of the day.
All right, people. So today's topic of the day, we won't spend too long on this year. And I just basically want to ask you guys' opinion. I'm going to get into more detail, but as of what you're hearing right now, what do you feel is happening in the world with regards to this Israel conflict with Gaza, with Lebanon, with Iran, with every bloody person in the world?
Have you seen the videos?
Which one? You talking about the actual
Have you seen
missiles?
the footage?
Yeah.
The ticket
How did you feel?
thing is the wrong one.
It's just going to take a little while to basically...
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah. Because it's still reeling from the previous, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes the mail doesn't look to...
Why have I done that?
Sorry.
This guy.
Yes, I was waiting for when Howard was going to drag you in. I was waiting
This
for it.
guy.
Yeah, did you see the footage?
Yeah, you're talking about the actual missile attacks, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's terrible, man.
How many
It's terrible.
angles have you seen so far?
I've
Like
only
how much
seen-
footage? Because I'm not sure if Sky or BBC would have shown like the stuff that you would be seeing from people uploading it on X. Have you seen the ones?
No, I've not seen those, you know.
Okay, so you've just seen the sterilized ones.
Yeah, I think so.
From
I think
afar.
so.
Okay, well, I've been seeing some close-up ones, man.
Have you got any
Very
footage?
interesting. Have I got footage?
Yeah.
That trigger warning for Israelis,
You
no?
can't play that.
I mean, what, no?
What were you
why
about
would
to
you
say?
Play people being, that's the height of being desensitized and stuff like that.
Can you imagine?
There
was joy in his heart.
9/11 video. You can't do stuff like that.
There was joy in his heart too. He said,
Yeah, man, you can't do things like that.
I thought it was just like the actual missiles going in the sky and that sort of stuff. You actually talking about ground assault?
yeah, they were on the ground,
What about-
and
Okay.
I don't know, 100 feet, maybe 200 feet away from them. Bow, bow, bow.
Serious?
Yeah. There were a lot of missiles that were sent through, and obviously, normally the Iron Dome pops them out the sky. But yeah, these were just wafted on through.
That's terrible, man.
So,
And then X started going crazy. You know that meme where there's a guy outside. I don't know if it's West Ham Stadium, but he looks like a West Ham steward, and he's just patting people down, but he's not really patting them down. He's just doing that. Go.
Oh, yeah,
go. Yeah. So somebody's overlaid that meme on the back of the missiles just popping through the Iron Dome. Pew 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 pew.
I don't get it. What's the context?
Basically saying that's what the Iron Dome is doing. It's patting down, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not at all. It's just
Breathing through.
letting them go all the way through.
That's crazy, man.
Do you think the Iron Dome is kind of overhyped?
No, but
Okay.
those types of missiles, I guess, they're different. The detection levels are different with them, and I'm sure the Iron Dome hit some of them.
Yeah, probably. But I think I heard it's like 90% effective. Obviously, the PR has got they kind of act like it's 100%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Weapon proof.
Well,
pretty much.
it normally is. I think it's dependent on the type of missiles.
Yeah, and the range. But yes, let me give everybody obviously a bit of an update on basically how we even got here, right? So obviously we already know about everything that happened since October 7th, right? And that's been going back and forth. Plus, Iran hasn't ever liked Israel being there. And Israel has always said that Iran's pretty much an existential threat to them. They don't believe in their right to exist and things of that nature. I mean, Iran hasn't minced their words about that pretty much. They're saying, yeah, facts, we don't want you there. But obviously this is kind of escalated because of the whole, in the last few days anyway, when some of the top leaders of Hezbollah, which is basically backed by Iran, got killed. And this is basically what's caused Iran to kind of retaliate. There's one thing I wanted to read out to you guys. But also in addition to that as well, Iran themselves are saying that one of their top commanders as well was killed. And I think this happened on the 27th of September. So this is the reasons why they're actually doing all of this sort of stuff.
They did quite a few things.
Yeah.
That's including the pages stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
accumulation of things.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for reminding me about that. So this is why basically they've retaliated. But all of this stuff, yeah. Do you see this? Obviously, I was chatting to Ramsey a few months ago about this. Yeah. Obviously, he didn't want to give. I'm not trying to say you give anybody credit, but I was basically saying to him that Israel are pretty much playing chess. I think they want to drag everybody into this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously, Netanyahu doesn't want to leave.
Nope.
And so, yeah, like, what's the end goal of this? Because Iran, prior to actually retaliating, they said, they actually warned and told Russia, they told America, we are going to retaliate. And obviously, they then sent over the 200 plus missiles, right? And now, Netanyahu's basically saying, we're not letting this slide. So I'm just basically asking you guys, do you feel like we're going to have an all-out Middle East war, or do you feel this is going to extend into World War III potentially? Or do you feel like the UN will step in at some point?
I think they're going to kill him. The way they've done all the other world leaders.
Who, Netanyahu?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, I think the other countries are going to conspire to kill him. Because they tend to do that after a while. When they see someone as like a tyrant and as a threat, I thought there's a whole thing about making them, there's just a whole thing with, change the person's PR and how people see them. And so by the time they then kill him, it's going to look like they've done the Israelis a favor.
So who are you saying they're going to kill him though?
I think all the other countries are going to conspire. I think they're going to die. Like I actually just think, because I don't think other countries want a war. And if the only person that could possibly cause this war is this one individual, go weigh things up.
But is America basically enabling this guy though? Because obviously we've been reporting that America's been saying we want a ceasefire. We've been telling them to push for a ceasefire, and Israel's just not listening to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, America's basically saying, well done for killing the Hezbollah leader. How can you tell me a ceasefire now, but when we've killed the Hezbollah leader by not doing the ceasefire that you asked me for, you're applauding me?
Yeah, because they also wanted the Hezbollah leader dead.
This is what I'm saying. So that means you don't really want a ceasefire?
I think they do. I think that at some point, because obviously there was a time where Israel was looking, like Israel liked that the US was backing them. They liked that all these countries were backing them. But then now it feels as though all these countries that Israel was happy to take praise from are now turning against Israel.
Yep.
And at some point, it's going to be a case where he's now a threat to their countries. And what is the way out of that? Obviously, they could go to war and try and fight him or whatever, but I think that in the state of the economy, just the way the world is set up at the moment, I don't think any government pushing for war. I don't think any government will push for war because that's political suicide at the moment. Yeah. So I think that they're going to,
get rid of
needful.
him.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to get rid of him.
I'm glad you mentioned the whole economy thing because I think people are not recognizing that if there is a war, the price of oil is going to go up like crazy.
Yeah.
So we're all going to suffer all the way over
Absolutely.
here. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's going to be people that leave the region.
Yeah.
Going to go into Europe.
Teddy says, this war is in all the holy books now. End of times and that.
This is kind of what I was asking you today, isn't it?
Well, the Third World War is in there.
What, in the end times?
Yeah, because there's always been wars. So what wars are you talking about?
I think he's talking about the end war.
I don't think the war included me, child.
But I was asking Esther today about Armageddon, yeah? Do you see this as the beginning of it?
This is connected to the red heifers I told you about.
The red heifers?
Yes.
What's the red heifers?
Remember in Egypt? Is it in Egypt?
In Israel.
Israel, that's it.
So basically...
the red bulls.
Yeah.
Remind the people, Brent.
Basically, certain Jewish people in Israel, whether they're Zionists or not, they believe that the coming of Christ is only going to happen once it is that they sacrifice these particular red heifers. It needs to be spotless, without blemish. And I think I reported on them finding the fifth one in Texas a few months back. And I think I told you all to go and do your little research to find out the relevance of these particular red heifers in relation to what's currently happening around the world. Right now, the place they're supposed to sacrifice these red heifers, it's run or governed by Muslims. And they need to remove their stewardship and take over that particular place. I don't know if it's a Temple Mount or whatnot. I can't remember what religious structure it is, but they need to now take ownership of that in order to basically sacrifice the heifers there. But upon doing that, like I said, Jesus Christ is going to finally come. And that's why as you're seeing this particular, I guess, the beginning of the end between their conflict. So yes, it is connected to quote-unquote Armageddon, but from a holy book perspective. Or should I say the Abrahamic religions perspective.
So are you basically saying, so the red heifers are meant to all be sacrificed and then Christ comes?
Yes.
Okay, so how many's left?
They haven't sacrificed it yet. They haven't gone through that particular...
But you said that they found the fifth one.
They found it, meaning they had it lab created.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't a find. Like, they didn't go and find it. They actually made sure that because they've been rearing them for a long while in this particular ranch. But finally, one was without blemish. It's all on YouTube.
So all of this stuff, though, do you feel like the political leaders believe all this stuff?
Which political leaders?
Maybe Netanyahu and them.
100%.
Serious.
Yeah, and remember who controls all these different countries.
But remember, Netanyahu don't believe in Christ, innit? So how do you link the two?
He doesn't believe in Christ. Why would he believe in Christ?
Yeah. So what are you saying?
No, as in Christ, as in that person who came before. He wouldn't. None of them do.
Yeah.
They don't believe that he's...
So then why would he make the connection? Like, why would he believe
none
that
of
part?
them do. None of them believe that he was the Messiah.
Also, are you saying that Netanyahu, people like him, still are waiting for the Messiah?
100%. Isn't he Jewish?
Yeah. But
No, like what? As in, like, is it Orthodox?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah, he's a quote-unquote purist, isn't he?
But a lot of these people are Zionists, though. They don't really believe in the
Who
faith.
controls Israel? The body of Israel?
I don't know. The
Zionists.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
but they're not faith believers like that.
Who?
A lot of the Zionists.
I don't know if it is that the same way I ask you who controls America. What would you tell me?
No, you know.
It wouldn't be the president.
No.
It won't be those people we see on TV that puppeted around. It'll be the purest of whatever ideology. I don't know. We call them what do you call them? What is
What Illuminati?
No, it's a
Black
different word. No. New World Order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but what I'm saying is a lot of these people are not necessarily religious, though.
I don't know what you're talking about. I believe they are.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Where are they getting the power from?
Yeah, but that's because you believe there's a power, though, that they have. As in, is this a mystical...
Yes, it has
celestial
to. It has
sort of power?
to. Nah, wait. Yes, only because of the rituals that they do in order to basically maintain this power. I'm not jumping into conspiracy theory. Actually, I am, but it's not the wild one.
Yeah, it's not that it's wild, but it's more so like I don't really think that a lot of these political leaders at the top believe in this stuff. Like,
Do
a
you
lot of
think?
them believe
Do you
this-
think Diddy has any mysticism about him?
What?
Any mysticism riddle into his ideologies and philosophies?
Yeah, he's got who is that? The pen is like a Haitian goddess.
No,
or
I
something
just
that he's
want
got
to
at
know
the
if
back of his
Emmanuel
back.
thinks that that Diddy, this hip hop mogul, is dabbling in any sort of mysticism, or has dabbled in mysticism, is or has participated in any sort of rituals before.
Yeah, but-
just on your based on your understanding.
Yeah, I think so. But
Why do you think so?
but
he's never shown that.
I don't necessarily believe that a lot of these people who dabble in the rituals believe in some sort of ethereal power behind it, though. I just think that these rituals kind of bind certain people together. Because a lot of these people, I believe, are atheists. At the same time, I do believe there's certain groups who are not atheists.
Run it back again.
So
Run
you've
it
got
back again.
Freemasons, for example.
Run
Yeah.
it back again. The
So-
binding together. What do you mean?
So basically, it's kind of like a group of people who believed in a particular thing, right? And we shut out the rest of the world. And to kind of keep us like together, we carry out certain rituals. We may not necessarily link the rituals really to some power, but it's just a ritual to continue what we've got going. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, for example, look at the La Cosa Nostra, right? When they do the whole, when you become a made man, right? And they cut your finger and all that sort of stuff. I don't think all of them believe, like, you know what I mean? They tie themselves and to certain things, and that when they die, they go into hell. I don't think they believe that.
Okay,
All of them.
so I guess you're talking about that ritual of cutting hands or ritual of shaking hands to agree a deal. It's still a ritual
No,
to you, right?
more than that. Yeah, but I'm just talking about certain things that you do in private. So again, even like, you know, cutting of the blood and doing certain things and maybe touching this and singing songs and bowing down to certain statues and all this sort of stuff. I don't necessarily think that all of them think there's an actual spiritual power behind it.
And fair, I take your point that some may be ignorant to it, but what does that mean to those who aren't ignorant to it and who wield the staff of power? Again, this is me. Forget me. I'm a born again Christian who has been doing a lot of deep diving in all these particular things, and I believe it's all connected, right? Forget about me. This is not about me today, right? You had asked me about Netanyahu.
Yeah.
I told you that I find it coincidental that whilst it is this particular red heifer path in history is basically playing out, you also have this thing where Israel is now looking to bring everybody into World War III. And that is what has been predicted, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is the moment, but it's a coincidence, right?
I mean, it's possible because I feel like a religious war is probably likely to be something that will spark World War III, to be fair.
And are they not trying to basically remove any sort of Muslim presence within their particular area? And are they looking to use America and Britain in order to basically help them legitimize it?
Yep.
They're not going to stop anytime, right? It's been a whole year, Emmanuel. Remember this time last year, that's when the first thing happened.
Yeah.
It's a whole year. And look how they've escalated this now. You see this stopping anytime soon?
I don't, because
Now that you're
I
at
don't
this
see-
point?
I don't see and well, basically this will, you know, it goes back to my question about the whole will this be World War III though? Or will this just be a localized sort of Middle Eastern war? Will the Saudis jump in? Because I don't see the Saudis really wanting to back you know,
Apparently they
Iran
don't like
and-
Hezbollah.
Yeah, there you go.
But I do believe that it may come to a point where it's not is it Shiite?
yeah,
and- What's the other one?
Sunni and Shia.
Sunni and Shiite. It wouldn't be that thing. It would be just a Arab world and the rest of the world thing. in my head anyway. Because yes, you're right. Right now, Saudi doesn't like Hezbollah, and in obviously because of their proximity, Iran, right? But I don't think it's going to stay that way.
It's funny you mention that because apparently the Iraqis have been saying that they're going to target US bases in Iraq and the region if the US joins in any of the responses, which is crazy. And you know the British were responsible for actually helping to curb some of those attacks.
Yesterday, it's not just the British, American, France. I think a couple other countries because they shoot them down as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So obviously that's more a defensive thing.
Yes,
but it's basically a step in that direction. You know what I'm saying, of attacks. You know what I'm saying. So I don't know, man. This doesn't look good, man. This doesn't look good. Do you feel like this could somehow link to the whole Ukraine-Russia thing as well? In some way?
How?
I don't know. Just in some way.
Because they're having a war, because they've got a war going on.
Yeah.
As well. I feel like it's just wars at the moment. There's just wars up and down. I don't think they're necessarily linked to each other, but I just think that wars is the theme and people are getting involved.
Yeah, it's a damn shame.
But then the only link between all these wars is power.
Yeah.
That's the theme. That's the
But a
running
lot of
theme
these
for them.
superpowers are using proxies, right? So if that's the case, will we get to... Because, Russia's actually in a full-blown war. You know what I'm saying? There's no proxy there. It's just them, right? But if we get to a situation where Iran maybe is really threatened, could Russia step in? You know what I'm saying? If Turkey gets involved as well, Syria, I don't even know, the whole region's finished.
But you don't have links to each other to get involved like that, though.
I think so. I just heard someone on Discord.
Because this sounds like the rumors of war the Bible speaks of.
This is what Teddy was saying.
You know what I'm saying? No, you sound like the rumors of war. That rumors get started.
Do you actually believe that to be true, though, Emmanuel?
What?
That there is going to be a war of the end times, or to usher in the end times. Because I don't think you
I think
do.
we're already in it.
I feel like it'll be a war to usher in a new transition, but not necessarily the end times, like in the way people think. I don't think people are going to just... I don't know. I don't see it in the same way.
Do you believe we're in the end times?
Yeah, but I believe we've been in the end times for a while, as in different times. As in there's been end times for thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? And we've just transitioned.
It's just ending.
Yeah, they just
never
end.
ending.
No, they end, and then you move on, and there's another end time. And then you move on, there's another end time.
Yeah, so specifically though, Emmanuel, this particular end time, this sequence of events, in the holy books, the holy scriptures, whichever one you subscribe to, talks about there then being a different life after that.
Yeah.
It's not a swathe of humanity has been wiped out and we just rebuild and go again.
Yeah.
So that's what she's asking you.
No, I don't think this is it. No.
Okay. And how do you actually believe?
There's nothing really to make me say that it is or isn't, to be fair.
Fair.
But it's only based on the fact that there's been several end times. That's the only thing I'm kind of basing it on.
And when you say there's nothing to basically allude to it, there definitely is.
No, I'm just saying from my perspective. The reason I'm saying is because in the Bible, when Paul was talking about the end times and stuff, they thought it was going to be round the corner. You know what I mean? When Rome was...
No, forget about Paul. I'm not even talking about Paul. I'm talking about like Revelations. Don't mention Paul. How about the Antichrist and stuff? Do you believe in that? Because again, in these holy scriptures, even the Quran, it has that story told.
Yeah, but all of these... What I'm trying to say is I feel like a lot of these things are transitional things. Because I feel like when... Okay, you just mentioned the Revelation. When John wrote the Revelation, right? It was at a time when people thought they knew who the Antichrist was. They said Nero was the Antichrist.
All right.
It all happened then.
All right, so
But then it
essentially, because what I'm trying to get around my head is you don't believe there will be a rapture.
I mean... in some way there will be a rapture. Put it that way.
I mean, some way. What's the way?
People will transition and move to another place.
That's the rapture.
Yeah.
What people are transitioning?
People will die.
People die every day.
I know.
So you
Some
think
people die every
they're
day, B.
they're in the rapture already?
I don't necessarily think people will just disappear. Put it that way.
People that die.
No, as in you know how the rapture is like, oh, you wake up in one day and half of us are gone.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it'll be like that.
Okay, what do you think it'll be?
I actually don't know, but I just don't necessarily think it'll be just like that. So it's kind of like when it talks about Christ coming back. Like you got, for example, Hebrew Israelites, right, who believe Christ's going to come back. He's going to come back with his host of angels. They believe he's going to come through the clouds. Like you're just going to see him. Think, oh, what's that? Then a bunch of people. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen.
Okay.
Like no vehicles, just in the air.
You want to just come in a car?
Like how is he coming back?
Jesus is sovereign. He's God. So of course he can come back.
Yeah, but how though?
How did he leave? How do you think he left the last time?
You
Do you believe he ascended to heaven?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Why
And
you telling me I
your
don't?
brethren, Jordan Peterson, actually believes that he did.
That's good for him.
No, as in, like he gave his workings out.
Okay.
Yeah. He followed a few of the stories of some of the emperors at the time. I think some of the writers wrote down. I think it was 200 years after Christ.
Yeah.
And he said it was close enough to basically believe that these accounts were real. And they talked about Jesus and they talked about the whole not being in the grave and this that. And he's like, yeah, I believe that he did rise from the dead. Yeah. That's your brethren though.
I mean, he's not my brethren in everything. I don't listen to John Peterson like that.
But you are saying, nope, Jesus Christ did not. To be honest, I don't know why I'm surprised. You even believe in Jesus Christ.
I never said
Why do you
that.
keep saying Jesus like that?
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
No, but so when you said that he didn't, were you being sarcastic or do you actually believe that he didn't ascend back to heaven?
He did. He doesn't believe that.
No, he's
Okay,
asking
you're
about
speaking
you.
for him. I'm talking about you
Oh,
because you
me?
said he didn't. So I thought you were talking about yourself.
Who didn't?
I said Jesus ascended. I asked Iman, do you believe that
Yeah.
Jesus?
No, I'm saying he
Oh, so you're
doesn't.
saying he doesn't.
Why are you telling me
Yeah.
I don't?
But do you?
Yeah, of course I do.
You see? He
So
doesn't.
then why do you expect? So if he went back in the sky, why do you expect him to come back down in the car?
You just
No, but remember he's coming back.
Stop. You're breezing over his nonchalance.
Don't forget that.
This
bit.
is him.
That's
We're
not
gonna-
important.
You see? He's hoodwinking you.
No, he's not
I'm
hoodwink.
not.
He can never.
Oh, God.
First
Alright.
of all, but I have an understanding with Emmanuel now.
Yeah.
I'm not getting high blood pressure over like
But
his
you don't
beliefs.
have
I
to.
don't care.
You don't have to, but
So when you say I'm being hoodwinked, I don't care. Like that's not the focus of my
Exactly.
conversation with him. I just need to know why he thinks that Jesus is coming back in a Porsche.
this is what I'm saying. You're entertaining a conversation with a guy who does not believe what your baseline
you're
is.
yeah,
saying
but
this
it
for
makes
me,
no
it's not
difference
true.
to my
Alright,
beliefs.
Continue. Go ahead. The palm to mine. Go ahead.
No, because I want to know. Like I'm trying to get to the bottom of his beliefs. Like what are your beliefs? Because I find this fascinating.
I actually don't necessarily know. So put it this way. Put it this way.
He doesn't know what he believes. Fair.
No,
he's
it's
honest.
No, it's just a case of like the way I see it is in life. Yeah, you have things you don't necessarily know,
Okay.
and you have things you do know. I like to try and keep the ratio as heavy as possible on the no, and leave the belief to a small ratio.
Okay, so you don't
Right?
believe, so you believe a small ratio of the Bible then?
No. Some of those things I believe I know.
But then they told you Jesus come down from the sky. You said you don't believe that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like the Bible's got a lot of allegory to it as well.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily. So it's not me saying he won't come back, but just in the same
In the manner
way,
in which he comes back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically how I'm saying it. But I'm just saying that some groups believe he's going to come through the sky, so you're going to see a little dot in the sky and then
I
get
want to hear
closer.
the trumpet.
There you go. You see what I'm saying? So will there be a loud audio trumpet?
Because if he lands in some small village somewhere else, why am I hearing the trumpet over here? So
So where's he meant to land?
he's coming from the sky. I believe
Yeah.
he's going to descend the way he ascended.
But if something drops in the sky in China, you ain't seen it now.
No, but but the thing that's dropping from in China is not God.
Yeah, but the world is round.
Wait.
But it's not for me to. I can't. My human mind.
Let's go against China.
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish my thoughts.
Come on.
Let me finish my thoughts. My it's not.
What's
Wait, let me finish. Wait. Let me know. Let me finish my thoughts. Let me finish my
No,
thoughts.
I just want to know why
Let
he
me
can't
finish
go
my
China
thoughts.
though.
Let me finish my thoughts.
Yeah, but why can't he go China?
Let me finish my thoughts. There's certain things, the same way you say that there's things in the Bible that like, I just believe, it's not for me to do the workings out of things that in the Bible that God is going to do miracles. Because based on the miracles that God did, from my logical human perspective, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, it's not something that if I put two and two together, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's not for me to figure out the workings of the miracles and the things and the sovereignty of God. I can't do that. So all I can go by is what the Bible has told me, and I believe what the Bible has told me. But it's not for me to figure out how someone in Nigeria and someone in Uganda and someone in Guinea is also going to see just that's above me.
Yeah. I get you.
Question.
And also, I don't know why he wouldn't. He might have paid in China, actually. Just for the irony of it all, because they hate Jesus over there. Just to let them know, you can't trick me.
If I can subscribe to all the miracles and the sovereignty of God, Emmanuel,
Yeah.
I could easily subscribe to him showing himself to the entire world at the same time in the sky.
Okay.
This is not difficult for me to countenance if I subscribe to everything else. So where Esther is trying to basically respond to your question, saying if he's spotted in China, how can he be seen in Nigeria? I'm like, you're limiting God right now. You understand?
But God still operates in
within the realms of what?
physical reality and the laws of physics,
don't
right?
talk nonsense. Don't talk nonsense.
It makes no sense
Do not talk
for you to be
nonsense.
pouring water into a jar and it comes out wine.
He
How many
said
waters
so-
have you
he
poured
said
into
it's a
jars to
story.
come out
He doesn't
wine?
believe that. Doesn't believe
Yeah,
any of
but
that.
I'm just messing with you guys, man. But obviously, like the way I see it is,
What, you don't believe he fed 5,000
No,
men
he
with fish
doesn't.
and
It's all
bread?
stories. Anybody
Hard-on
trying
bread
to
and
call
snapper
the
fish.
phone?
That's why the tradition.
Sorry, man.
Discord.
Sorry, yeah. Anybody trying to call the phone, can you jump onto Discord, please? The phone is not operational. I repeat, the phone is not operational. The link to the Discord is pinned to the chat. Please click it, run through, and then jump into the TDA hotline channel.
Okay.
Then we can let you on.
and we won't be here for too long, guys, because we've got a wonderful guest
We
with
do.
us.
We need to talk to her.
So Emmanuel is not who you want him to be.
No, he's.
It's
Oh,
who
I
he
have,
needs to be.
respectfully, not in a rude way. I have no expectations of Emmanuel.
Good.
I have no expectations of anybody but myself. So.
Good.
You remember,
I'm just
this
always
is-
fascinated
this
by
is
his thought process.
entertainment, guys. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know if the Lord of Hosts is insane, but I'm always just fascinated by his thoughts. Like because I believe what I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm around people that believe, for the most part, believe what I believe. So when there's other people that don't believe that, I'm just fascinated. It's not me trying to catch out anything like that. I just literally just want to know, what are your thoughts on that?
Do you know, it's just, I believe that certain things in the Bible is allegory, innit?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's made allegory so it can live forever. You know what I'm saying? If it's just a physical something that happened within a particular time, the details will be different tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so it won't be eternal. It won't be something that will be long lasting. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I see it in that particular way. And I just feel like, certain things were said in a particular time for the people that were reading it then.
Yeah.
But it had to also allow for our brains 2,000 years later.
Yeah.
6,000 years later for it to, to last. And so, yeah, that's basically how I kind of see it. But yeah. Somebody in Discord?
Yeah, it's crazy for you to say that someone waiting. Yeah, Ed, I know someone's waiting. I actually invited them onto the stage, but they haven't accepted it. So I don't know what I could do. I don't know what I could
What else
do.
you can do?
Yeah, it's funny that you said that God still conforms to this physical
Yeah,
reality. It's
that's so
weird for you
funny.
to say that. Absolutely weird.
Yeah, but obviously I don't believe it entirely. I'm just saying that as a question. You know what I mean? You already know I'm a Yoruba man. So you already know I believe certain things that most people don't believe. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do believe that there's loads of people out there who believe that God does operate in the physical realm when dealing with certain things in the physical realm.
First of
But
all, I
in
think
the
it's funny
spiritual, you leave it in the spiritual.
that he said you don't believe. Said something about God and whatnot. And you said I believe that I'm a Yoruba man. No, I'm a Christian man. Can you imagine?
No, I basically just mean in terms of being an African. We believe there's certain things that occur that we just can't see and explain. You know what I'm saying? So
Me, boy.
yeah, is it not you?
Them tails.
But yeah, Discord person not here.
Is Ed in Discord?
No, he's
How did you know
a
someone else was
moderator,
waiting?
so you can see what's happening.
Okay.
Oh, so is the person on there or they're not?
The person's left now,
Okay, well,
but
there
there's
before.
somebody else here.
okay.
And they're not saying nothing.
And who's that? Are they going to talk or
I don't know. They
Well,
disappeared now.
going once, going twice?
All right.
Well,
cool.
that'll do it.
Have you not moved on?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
about
What do
to.
you want to say?
I'm still stuck on Jesus being in the sky or not coming from the sky. You're saying you're going to see him in the
Being
sky
a Porsche.
everywhere like a projector.
No, I am saying that it's not hard for me.
You're saying no, not projector.
What?
And some people do believe it's
No, I just want to
a
I'm just
projection.
trying to sort this out quickly.
So like Jesus on Zoom in the sky.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what you're saying. Because you're saying if you see him in China and Africa at the same time.
I get it. I said it's not hard for me to basically countenance that he can do that.
Yeah.
Because he is God.
Okay.
It's not hard for me to wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
Okay,
If I
and-
basically subscribe to everything else.
And you're saying he's definitely not coming from the sky.
No, I never said
Because
that.
England's an island, so how's he going to get here?
If you go swim.
What have you just done?
What do you think Prince Patel's gonna keep him
What have you
out?
just done?
Stop the boats.
Okay.
You know Jesus walks on water. You can't stop that.
They're going to stop the boats. So if you don't come in the sky, how's he going to
Do
get
you
to
think that's why Prince Patel and them are trying to stop the boats? They're not trying to get. They didn't want Jesus' flight to land. Fair.
No, so he's saying projector, like his head's just in the sky and
No,
everyone
he's
can
coming
see
down.
it simultaneously. No, what yours? I'm talking about you now. Back to you, Brent.
Like, how would it play out? I'm looking forward to see that.
I actually look forward to seeing that, but I don't want to deal with like the things before. And
What things before?
The
they know all the
floods,
things are gonna happen
the
before
floods, the
he comes.
locusts.
No, that happened already.
Oh, it's a different thing.
Then
So
go
what happened
ahead.
before rapture?
All the like wars and all that just difficulties of that.
Yeah, those
The stuff
floods
you're
and
seeing,
stuff.
the stuff that
we've
you're
had-
watching, the stuff that you're watching. You
My
mean.
friend, we've had floods.
Yes, I'm watching it, but I'm not living it. It's a difference. I don't want to live it.
We've had floods and locusts in abundance over the course of human history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So those are signs of the end times. It's like an ushering in.
Okay,
Yeah. So that's already done.
so the signs are already here.
Been there, done that.
Fair enough.
This red heifer stuff, though, I'm very, 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 very curious about it. Because when these particular people start to move, the world pays attention, as is seen by what's happening currently. So if it is that they're saying there's some significance in the red heifers and what they're doing, I'm keenly looking over there.
Keep an eye on it.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool.
It's also interesting.
Stay woke, bro.
Stay listening. Stay
I'll
woke,
keep you
don't
guys
get
informed.
caught.
I'll keep you guys. Obviously, if anything happens that's mad, that y'all can't explain, whether, I don't know, some sort of phenomenon that happens and then BBC or Sky reports it, that's when it is, you'll leave it. I will be here to explain it to you.
Absolutely.
Don't worry. You will get it here first. You get on no other morning show. No other morning show is going to cover it like how I'll
Absolutely,
cover
definitely
it.
not.
Because I'm already clued up. I'm already corrupted,
But then ideally,
man.
you should be able to tell us before BBC. and
I've
them
been
tell us.
telling you, but y'all just cast me
No, but
off
I mean
as a
that before these
conspiracy
things
theorist.
happen, though. So, say for example, an event's taking place and BBC are going to tell us. I would expect you to have told me before BBC tells me
I can
because
tell you things that are happening right now, but it's not covered by BBC. It's covered by other channels that I guess would call quote unquote fringe or whatnot, but they cover the real news. Sounds weird me saying that. But
no,
they
there
feed
is
your
real
hosts the
news, yeah.
crap, you know. These mainstream channels, they feed your hosts that crap. They feed you what they want to feed you.
absolutely.
Don't worry, I've got y'all. All our community, I've got
Brent's
y'all.
got us.
I got y'all.
All right, let's wrap up the topic of the day there.
Let's get into Word on Road.
Right.
To be fair,
You know,
actually.
you can join in, you know. When something touches you, you're like, jump in.
In very sad news, the actor John Amos has passed away.
Yeah, man.
But he passed away in August. He passed away on 21st of August, and his family have only just put that news out there. I guess there's the people that don't need to ask for their privacy to be respected because they're insured.
Yeah,
Privacy
that's
was respected. So his son, who is called Kelly Christopher, basically put a statement out and said that his father passed away from natural causes in LA on the 21st of August. He says, "It is with heartfelt sadness that I share with you that my father has transitioned. He was a man with the kindest heart and a heart of gold, and he was loved the world over. Many fans consider him their TV father. He lived a good life. His legacy will live on in his outstanding works in television and film as an actor. My father loved working as an actor throughout his entire life, most recently in Suits LA, playing himself. I didn't know it was in Suits. Have I watched Suits LA? No, I haven't. I haven't finished the normal Suits. Every time I watch Suits, I stop in the same place for the third time now when Meghan Markle goes to be a princess. I don't know what it's meant to push through.
Yeah, it had a spin-off, innit?
I didn't know that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. Most recently in Suits LA, playing himself and a documentary about his life journey as an actor, America's Dad. He was my dad, my best friend, and my hero. Thank you for your prayers and support at this time. And then also the president of Julia Buchwald, who is the president of the talent agency that he was, obviously they represented him. She also said, we were so proud to represent John. He was not only a remarkable talent, but also a deeply kind and generous soul. His impact on the industry and those who knew him will never be forgotten. There's been a lot of people showing love and, shedding light and stuff. So bless his heart. He died at 84. Nextly, I like that word actually. I'm going to run with that. Nextly, I spoke about Homie Quan, who passed away, I think, like 2-3 weeks ago now. Well, his official cause of death has been revealed. It's actually sad. He was 34 when he died on 5th of September. And that's nearly a month now, actually. It's crazy. But yeah, so basically he died from an accidental drug overdose. I think that's one of the scariest ways to die. Because you didn't mean to kill yourself. Now here we are. So he died from an accidental drug overdose. The medical examiner's officer found. And they basically said there was several drugs found in his system, including fentanyl, alprazolam, codeine, promethazine, and THC. Very, very sad, man. So they said that there was no, his death was been ruled an accident. There was no foul play, no nothing. There was no trauma on his body to make them for there to be any investigations. So very, very sad. RIP to him. And then next, trigger warning. Diddy's got some new lawsuits, man. And it's serious. So there's a Houston attorney who held a press conference yesterday. I listened to part of it, then I started to feel sick, then I just had to turn it off. It was just too much. Basically, he's representing about 120 accusers, some of which are claiming that at the time of abuse, of sexual assault at the hands of Diddy, they were minors. The youngest person at the time, from the reports as being given, was 9 years old. It was a 9-year-old boy. Absolutely crazy. I can't remember what the story was with the 9-year-old kid. I think it was to do with, I can't remember what it was, but basically there was minors. I think about 25 of them, there's like 20 plus of them were minors. The youngest person I believe was 9 years old. It was a 9-year-old boy who basically he forced the boy to perform oral sex on him, allegedly. And there's like a 13-year-old there as well. There's a 15-year-old there as well. It's a lot of them, like a lot of people. And the lawyer has also said that he will be going across. Basically, he's going to be filing cases across different cities. So there's Chicago. There's New York, California, Georgia, and Florida. And yeah, so at least 25 of the accusers were minors at the time that it happened. And the complaints date back to 1991. And the youngest, like I said, was 9 years old. And he also said that there's a lot of big names within the lawsuit who were accomplices of Diddy, but they will not be mentioned now, obviously due to sensitivity of the case. However, it's information that is going to be released, basically. And he basically said the day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. Some of the victims as well are actually big stars. I can't remember what age the person was. I think like 15 or something like that. Yeah, it was a 15-year-old. And apparently that is like a big star in the industry. So, yeah, man, it's a lot going on. Obviously, some of them are like male, female, but it's a lot. It's a lot. But he's basically saying that over the next 30 days, he's going to be filing different lawsuits across the different cities or states, that I mentioned. And, yeah, man, it's not looking... Right. I don't know how people can hear this stuff. Because obviously he's not going to give names or whatever, but he basically read some examples of the witnesses, the accusers' accounts. So like, this person's age 26, this is what they said happened, da-da-da-da-da. This person, age 13, this is what they said, blah, 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 blah. Like, he read a few of them and he was like, I could literally go on, but he was like, there's 120 people. But I just don't know how people can hear this and still be making up and still be defending him and stuff. It's crazy.
Question, Emmanuel and Mags, right? Because me too, I'm puzzled. Because 120 is a specific number, and it's more than 5.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I know you, Emmanuel, always say that whenever things like this happen, and America is the land of opportunity, like people come out and look to make up stories and whatnot, right? Just to try to see if they can basically get peace. Upon hearing this, what comes to your mind? 120.
120 what?
People speaking
New
out.
accusers.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know, man.
Like, no, what immediately
It does-
comes to your mind, though? Do you now err on the side of, oh my goodness, he's an animal? Like, he's guilty of at least maybe 10% of those. Because it's 120.
Yeah. I feel like he was kind of guilty of certain things anyway. I feel like you got to leave it to the courts. But
No,
my
100%.
personal
It's
opinion,
going to be left to the courts. But
Yeah.
I'm just trying to...
Also, sorry, another part was that a lot of these things as well happened at his annual party, his annual white party he throws every year. So a lot of these situations happen then. So when you think about how the claims are that he flies hella sex workers in, like he does this regularly, 120 is actually small. For a number of parties that he has, number of people that are entertained, 120 is
I don't know what small.
People.
Only because I don't know if it is that the mass
I think if you're talking about like say like Harvey
illegality
Weinstein,
would be something.
like Harvey Weinstein took advantage of people that wanted, obviously some of these accounts as well. Sorry, the people that wanted like advice with music and all that kind of stuff. But Harvey Weinstein's play was that you want to get this film. Actually, you could have done 120 to be fair. But like, I just think when you think about the frequency of these events, of these parties and stuff that he was throwing, the number of the parties. What was it? Was it 100 baby or was it 1,000?
1,000.
When you think about the frequent, like the kind of
Is
things
that
they're
real that
finding,
they had
it's
1,000
like,
baby oils? Or is that like internet stuff?
That's real, man. 1,000.
1,000?
1,000, man.
Is it 1,000 baby oil and lubricants?
Lubricants, yeah.
I think it was more than 1,000 or just a little bit less, but the number was
Rough.
Yeah, it was verified by the FBI.
So how quick does he go through that 1,000?
I don't know if it is that just like you would have toilet paper stocked up because you know you're going to be using it. I think there's a walk-in closet where there are plenty of those bottles, knowing full well each time he has a party or if it's a Wednesday, he's going to be using it.
Yeah, but you don't just sit on 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Like that's not like 3 years worth of stock.
Picture this, because this is how I pictured it, weirdly enough. When these parties are going on, I think a lot of lubrication is used, not just for penetration, but also for just you focus on me.
Just to get slippery.
Just to get slippery, baby. You know, you defended him yesterday, saying he was just having a good time. So I'm guessing, because I think I've seen certain videos where you're in like a club and then they just...
Have you used baby oil?
Me,
Yeah.
when I was young, not 9 though.
How many bottles of baby oil do you reckon you've used in your life?
I don't know if I've ran through one.
Like 3.
You don't reckon you used one bottle of baby oil in your life?
No, because I didn't use that too tough.
What about
Still
you,
good for
what
my
about
skin.
you, man?
Like maybe like 3 or something.
3.
Yeah.
That's the thing that makes you laugh, because he said 3.
I'm just trying to work out like 1,000's mad, and obviously I get what you're saying,
But you
buying
had
in bulk,
many
yeah. But
party
I'm saying,
goers. I mean,
yeah, I know,
why
but the
wouldn't you
intent.
have
I'm trying to
more-
work out the
You don't want
velocity.
to run out, not in a
I'm trying
dinner
to work
party.
out the velocity, like
I think
that's
even-
not lasting forever. Do you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
No,
Like-
I think it gets topped. You always keep it so that
Yeah.
you always
so you
have.
stay with it.
Yeah, just like how you go into certain people's kitchens and you see stacks of bottles of water. I always want to have stock just in case.
1,000 baby oils is mad.
But that can't be the weirdest thing that you hear, especially that we just hit 120 and you heard the youngs was 9. That can't be.
None of these revelations don't shock me though. It's not like, oh my god, like I believe Diddy done everything he did. Like it's not done. Nothing don't shock me. It's not. Oh my god, it's 120. It's 600 tomorrow. Like it's okay. It's Diddy.
But here is the pedophilia now,
Yeah. That part kind of.
and this makes it, I believe, worse than Weinstein.
Yeah, but
I
there
reckon
was the
there's
whole thing
something-
with Usher living with him when he was 13. The whole thing with Justin Bieber living with him when he was his age. Like, so then there's always been pedophilia in the chat there.
I reckon there's something to be said about
There wasn't
them
until it
attacking the
is
black
that
man.
the narrative started running with what he did with them whilst
fair.
he was there.
Okay.
I think there's something behind it.
And what?
the narrative of them trying to bring down the black man.
Oh, not you.
And this is why I put the camera on you.
Not
because of this
you.
nonsense that you're saying.
Why?
Why is it nonsense?
I hate it had to be you.
Because you just said just now you believe everything that's happened to Diddy.
Yeah. Also, but what I'm trying to say is, yeah, all this starts with his once he started to go against the other side in the beef with the higher up. That's when everything started coming out in it. So they've been aiding and abetting all his behavior
Precisely.
forever, innit?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, it's not like they're just fabricating and making stuff up. They're bringing him down with his own actions. You know what I'm trying to say? But I still believe this it is
something.
I still believe it's an attack, innit? Like that's the whole reason why everything's coming out now. You know what I'm trying to say? So he is being attacked, and they are bringing him down, knocking him off his pedestal. But it's only with things that he's done, innit? I'm not saying like it's made up stuff. Innit?
Do you
So
think
two
that-
things can be true.
Do you think with the narrative of like they're trying to take a black man down should just be reserved for people that haven't actually done anything that's deviant?
This is the question I want to ask him.
What are you saying, sorry?
That should be reserved. They're trying to take the black man down argument for people that actually haven't done anything. Because when you hear it, when someone says they're trying to take the black man down, what
Injustice.
it sounds as though is like this is an injustice,
Yes.
and this person doesn't deserve any repercussion that's coming to them. So I think we need to reserve that for people that actually haven't done anything. There's been no rumors of things that they've done. There's been no proof of things that they've done. We don't actually know they're deviant.
Yeah, but the injustice comes
Because
from
then-
you're right, but the injustice comes from user was fine with this, user was protecting this, user was
Yeah.
promoting it, where and now user are fed out of bed, user want to come and you're gonna use him and do the sacrificial lamb and get him down, but user are still all fine, and user are all the same as him and still doing the same shit. So it's not to say that he's absolved of anything, but what they're doing is a fuckery, innit? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Because everybody's pointing at the eyes at Diddy and bringing Diddy down, but we're not going for everybody else, for all the other people, and bringing them down or He's the scapegoat of the fall of everything. It's like, you fucked with us, all right, cool, watch this now. But we're not on everybody else. It's just Diddy. So that's what they're speaking about. But
then
you're
you
right,
think
though.
then you think then I feel like then the language should then be that because he really and truly is it's a RICO charge. It's a whole thing about he's running a ring. So then I feel like the language should then be that everyone else who's enabled and allowed this behavior throughout the years should also be brought down. Rather than because not everyone's gonna stay to hear the chat about for the reasoning behind it trying to take a black man down. I just feel like that should really be reserved for people. For innocent people. Because whether or not they've enabled it throughout these years and now he's offended them and they want to take him down or whatever, he's still doing the stupidness that he did.
Yeah.
And so with other people as well, at some point they're going to offend other people as well and they're also going to be taken down. But when we put that out there, it sounds as though, like, there's people who are like, oh, because, do you know what I mean? Like, there's people who feel like, well, unless we're going to take everybody down, he shouldn't be found guilty. And it cannot work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, you're right.
But anyway, take that black man down in there. I'll help you. I'll help in the raid.
I think
I
those...
will. And you know I'm not a boots on the ground kind of girl. I want boots to be right on the ground.
I remember the question. Emmanuel and Mags, even Esther. Do you believe that people like 50 Cent and Kat and all those others who know more and know about the co-conspirators should be held accountable for keeping them out shut?
He didn't be shamed.
50
But
kept his mouth shut. 50's been on to Puffy forever. 50's
Yeah, but he's been
telling
on
you
him.
about
What was
Puffy.
it?
But he's been on him
Actually.
for petty thing though.
What's the question I asked you?
You said, should they be held
For keeping their mouth shut.
About what?
Puffy?
No.
About what?
Co-conspirators.
Huh?
The other people that you just mentioned.
That they
that
know,
are
yeah.
basically-
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Ask again, sorry.
Because if you're gonna, because my thing is that the reason why with 50 Cent, as much as he talks the way he talks, I don't rate him because you are aware of all these things. One, two, the person gets on your wrong. He's doing exactly what the argument will be where Diddy's offended these people, so now they're trying to take him down. He basically does the same thing because until Diddy offended him personally, he was it Breakfast Club he was on? No, it wasn't Breakfast Club. It was one of them roundtable people. But he was talking about how like he saw a video of Cassie sleeping with some like with a sex worker, blah blah blah, and he sent it to Diddy and like. So all the allegation that was in Cassie's thing, he wasn't shocked to hear it because he'd actually seen proof of it. So my thing is, I hate when people are like, "Oh, it's not just him." Say who it is then. Say who it is then.
But then you're asking them to go to war against other people, and they're not really
Then shut
invested
up.
like that.
Then
You know
shut
what I
up.
mean?
Don't go on. My thing is, is you trying to be the moral high ground in any situation. Talk about, oh yeah, he's such a deviant. If only you guys knew. Tell us then. Let us know. I don't think, I feel like doing stuff like that, for me personally, I think it's pathetic. Because all it is that you just want people to feel like you got more tea than than other people. It doesn't take into account what the realities for the victims are actually like. If you're gonna see in interviews and see on Instagram and see and talk about you got Netflix documentary coming out doing this and doing that, wherever. Obviously, if the documentary comes out and we see that he's talking about all the people that's involved in blah blah blah, I will respect that then. But for as long as you're gonna be sitting on silly little podcasts talking about he's not the only one, there's better than blah 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 blah, and then you don't say anything beyond that. The only thing is that you just want people to know that I know more than you know. There's some kind of ego trip for you there to let people know that you know more than... And if you're going to blow the whistle, blow the whistle properly. Don't be thinking about blowing the whistle.
So this is the question I'm asking Emmanuel and Margs. For those people that you are vexed that they're not getting the same type of limelight that this black man is getting, Margs. Yes? Those who know and have been whispering about Diddy and they also know those other names, do you hold them to account? Once it is that we see the litany of things that he's been involved in or with, would you hold them accountable?
That's providing that they know the other names.
That's what?
That's providing that they know the other names.
But
So you believe that you feel as though the same people that have been on them for years, they felt that Diddy was just acting in isolation without any help whatsoever?
What makes you? Why are you so sure that they know
The head and the ring?
Why are you so sure that he knows that they know the names of his co-conspirators?
Only because of how he got put on in the first place.
Yeah, but the
And
people
only
that he's
because-
dealing with is people
only
that are like heads
because-
of governments and politicians and pharmaceutical companies and bankers and stuff like that. What makes you assume that 50 Cent knows these people's names?
Run that by me again.
His co-conspirators, the people that he's doing it, the people that they fuck with, even the man who come out with the Puffy that day, the people the names on Puffy's list are top tier people. What makes you assume 50 knows their names?
Can I ask a question? Why did you say it's unfair for them to be going after the black man?
I never said it was unfair for them to be going after the black man.
What were you saying?
I was just making a point. I'm telling you the narrative that's out there. I don't give a fuck. I never said it was unfair.
Sorry,
I ain't got a horse
I
in the
apologize.
race.
I actually thought we spent a while talking about that. And
But you said the injustice part of it.
I was giving you I'm giving you another side of this of what's going on. I'm not telling you that's my
Put your brain
story.
back there so I can ask you this question.
Okay, go on.
Right? So that implies that there are other people
Okay.
as powerful or even more powerful because they're able to now put him as
I get
the
what you're
patsy.
saying. So what makes you assume? But
So
why are you
wait,
saying that
in
they know
you-
them?
In you saying that, surely, in my mind, whoever
Other
you
people
basically... Yes.
know.
They would have an idea as to who that is. Or is it just...
Or okay, cool. Like the other people in his ring, innit? Like the ones that go to this party.
100%.
So what you're saying is,
And if it is that he's killed somebody in a studio and then basically had the police just look the other way, you now know that he has people in high places of influence,
yeah,
right? That are aiding and abetting him. All these things that have been happening. If these people have been going to these parties and whatnot, Hollywood stars, as you said, politicians, pastors, and this, that, and the next. It can't be a thing where nobody knows anything other than the whispers of Diddy.
yeah, I get what you're saying now.
So if, like I said, the more heinous thing comes out with this 120 trial thing with Diddy, or accusation, would you then hold people like Kat? Because he said he has been paying for compromat for years. Anything that you have, bring it to me, I'll give you money for it. He has archives. This is what he was saying on Channel Sharp. He has all of this on these people. Would you be like, nah. If it is that you knew that 9-year-olds were getting mashed up, surely you should have basically got rid of this guy time ago. And not just him, but everybody else who basically put him on.
But
Might not have been able to though. There's a power structure there, innit? Might not have been able to.
This is what I want to speak to. So
it's too entrenched, man. I personally can't necessarily expect them to be like, okay, cool, let's take down this person. Remember in Taken? You see how you remember the film Taken, where you see the underground network and all that sort of stuff, right? And how entrenched the network was and all that sort of stuff. I think it's kind of like that, but even deeper. You know what I'm saying? I can't expect somebody like Cat Williams, who may not necessarily have an army behind him, to go against these people. He could turn up dead in a week.
But you know, like this applies to like every situation, every scenario in the world. That's why, like now, when you like see stuff in, like, you know, people keep talking about like communities lost and how we don't see, and how there's people like think a tragedy can happen in real life, because that's like seeing somebody being harmed in public.
Yeah.
but then for fear of anything else, you just walk on, don't say anything to anybody, and just say, "Oh well, I saw that at some point." Like, when do we draw the line between you fear? Like, you fear someone probably come to get you or whatever, and actually looking after our neighbours.
But everybody does. Self-interest is always going to take precedent
I
over
understand
everything.
that, but
And
that doesn't
matter.
make it. But doesn't make it right, though.
It's not about wrong or right. If you was in the
It
position,
is, though,
it's not
because
if you was in
it
a position
is.
where you knew something about someone powerful in government, and you had the information and you could be the whistleblower, but you know that they got the power to kill your whole livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Your housing situation, your work, your everything. You can't function. Like, you know, these people could. You've got a decision to make, and your self-perseverance comes in front of nearly everything.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? Like, these men are tires
So then
in the
basically,
industry.
in life, then we can never expect people to do good for you.
You shouldn't expect anything from. I don't expect anything from humans.
No, but that's fair. But then
I think
I
you're
just
only
feel like
gonna
there's
get-
certain conversations then that we should have, that when we have then, like, I feel like this, and I expect this energy then throughout.
That's cool, but survival
because
is-
you can't say that just because it's Diddy and blah 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 whatever, because you're not even speaking about, because I can understand, again, like we talked about yesterday or whatever day, I can understand why he's PA, I can understand why he's chef, I can understand those people that have no power can say stuff like that, but 50 Cent has power, Cat Williams has power. I can understand why those normal people that have nothing, like, they have nothing to their name and their intermission to work into people. I can understand that.
It's power to a certain extent.
Exactly.
50's,
That's
50's
what
moving
we
into film and
Yeah.
residence there. He's still got a cozy up under the production houses and the,
But you know
the
what-
directors
but
and
you know-
residence
but
there.
you know
There's
my
power
point
to, it's
is-
power to a certain extent.
I understand that, but my point is then I don't want to hear you talking about you knew better or this person's a piece of shit.
But he's been
Because
he's been
technically
tempting
you're a
for
piece of
20
shit as
years,
well, It doesn't matter because
Esther,
that's not
to
fair.
what end? It is fair. To what end? If I'm not going to expect
You ain't been listening to him.
If because of the power that you Wendy Williams been talking about Diddy and I've been listening. Speak for yourself. If because of the power that if because of the whatever you're preserving yourself, self-preservation or whatever else, you're not going to you don't have a right then to come now and be yapping that he's a deviant. Because when you were aware of this information, you could have released this information. You wanted to preserve yourself, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's cool. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's fine. But you cannot now sit here and start yapping away.
Would you be a bit more sympathetic if you felt as though the person didn't want to release it to the public, but kind of told you, and then you tell this person, and it kind of spreads like that?
No, I will feel more sympathetic if I find out that Cat Williams or 50 Cent have been working with FBI behind the scenes. I'll feel more sympathetic to that. But my thing is that there's no way that you are like, you've known this deviant thing about this person. This person's been harming children, allegedly been harming children, harming adults, is an abuser. You see them go around the town as if they're the big top dog and whatever, and you're going to sit on podcasts and tell me that you are absolutely disgusted. You weren't that disgusted. That's the point I'm trying to make. You were not that disgusted.
Esther, I also think that as much as people, you know how people flippantly say, "Oh, I always knew." The reality is people didn't know; they thought, and I think that's the case.
But I'm telling you,
with a lot of
50
these
Cent-
people.
If you
50
think
Cent
50
said
Cent,
he's seen a
if you
video.
think 50 Cent knew, you think 50 Cent knew that Puffy's troubling a 9-year-old boy and didn't tell you.
Why would he?
These are
No,
sick.
wait.
I don't think
Why
so.
would he?
I don't think
Why
so.
would he
I
say
don't think
that?
so.
How is that different though to him knowing about Cassie and not saying that? Why would he say? Is he not going to lose the same things?
I'm just
So
saying.
now that we're here, so you just said that you believe that 50, and I'm also asking you, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
You corporate this to your on Mags' side, right? You believe that if 50 knew that he troubled a 9-year-old, that he would basically volunteer the information to the police.
Not to
about
the police,
the
this is the
police, not to
public.
the
He would have
police,
called him.
to the public.
He would have hashtag
Because-
kiddie fiddler.
Why?
I know.
But his life would still be at risk in the
Maya,
same way it
how
would
about
have
you?
been.
I think it may
How
depend.
about you, Manuel?
I think it may depend on a bit more the narrative around the boy.
How about
Guys are jokers.
Cat?
What about Cat?
Would Cat basically, do you have that same confidence in Cat?
I don't know. Cat don't move like 50, but Cat said Diddy's going down anyway.
No, the specific question I'm asking you about is what I asked you about 50, but just applied to Cat.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
All right, okay. So you think that 50 has more virtue than Cat, or is it that 50 dislikes Diddy more than Cat?
50's
As to
got-
why you believe that he would do it and Cat
They
wouldn't?
just,
And
it's
it's
not about
good.
this. They just got different styles. They just got different styles. You get me? And that's 50's style. If that's
Morning,
50's
guys.
on.
Morning,
Can I ask
morning.
though, quickly, sorry, before the caller speaks, what's the difference in the harm level to him speaking about him abusing children to anything else? Because the point you guys are making is that because of that he could disappear tomorrow, he could blah blah blah, like all the harm that's there. How does that disappear because of the situation, because of the person he's abusing?
I'm just saying hypothetically. I'm not giving you the reasons for him not doing it. I'm just telling you the what's in the realm
No,
of
but
possibility.
but you said do we think that 50 Cent would know that Diddy was abusing a 9-year-old and he wouldn't have said something?
I don't believe Curtis Jackson would know that Puff Daddy is chopping 9-year-old kids and not saying anything.
All right.
Why?
How about Usher and Justin?
Well, that know that Puffy's chopping Usher.
And Justin.
And Justin Bieber.
He's made reference to that. Like they've said these things.
Who's made reference to that?
People in general.
No, focus on just the person that we are delivering.
On Curtis Jackson?
I don't think 50 would care. Like, okay, but
Why
like,
not?
What, that he's chopping Usher? What's it got to do with him? Like, Usher's a big man.
As when he was a young boy. Because that's the narrative now. When
I
it is
think
that
50 might flippantly say that.
and he was 13, I guess. 13, is it 13?
Yeah.
Or is it just now 13? One of them
Justin was 13.
But
No,
Usher
Usher was
basically
13
went
as
on, I can't remember the guy's podcast. He's quite
Howard Stern.
That's the one. And he said that when it is that he... Was he 13 at the time, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 13.
Yeah. And
Flavor Camp.
And what was the house called? Or the activity?
Diddy Flavor Camp.
That's the one. That's the one. Where he was basically saying, yeah, it was madness. It were rooms where people were just having sex and whatnot. So one obviously assumes, based on how it is Justin Bieber's moving these days, right, that right when he was young and he was ushered in, sorry.
Well done. Good job.
Sorry.
Lyricist.
Sorry.
You're so annoying.
On so many different levels, ushered in. Anyway, he was fiddling with them. And if that is to happen, there's no way that other people didn't know about that particular ritual. There's no way. And it would have gotten back to 50 somehow.
50's been saying all types of things about Puffy for years. I don't understand what you are doing. I don't
But the
understand
thing
what
is
you are
with 50,
talking about
yeah.
or where you are even listening. Like 50's been calling him all types of things,
I'm only
making reference to him
specifically
doing
talking about-
all kinds
I'm
of stuff, fiddling with
specifically
boys,
talking about
touching
the
man,
kiddie fiddling.
Well, like I'm trying to say, like, I don't understand where you are coming from. If you follow 50 Cent, you would know they're 2 decades deep.
I am specifically asking you if he has mentioned kiddie fiddling
He's
and
never
slapped it
mentioned
onto
kids.
Diddy.
50's never mentioned kids because he's
And
never
that's
mentioned
what
kids.
I'm
He's always
asking
spoken about
Marks.
homosexuality.
And that's what I'm asking Marks, because he said if it is he did it to a 9-year-old boy, he definitely would. So, has he?
I don't think 50's ever mentioned kids. I think he's mentioned just
So I said
the
he didn't
homosexual
know.
stuff.
Yeah,
So you
just
couldn't
think-
Usher- you
just
couldn't
think
Usher-
50
you couldn't
hates
Usher a
Diddy,
kid?
and that's why he started compiling what he needs to compile.
Literally.
Right?
Huh?
Outside of, he's no
not
pirate
Samaritan.
of moral.
He's not
decency.
doing that with the goodness
he's
of his
not-
heart.
He's not interested in any of that. It's because he wants to get his lick back.
Literally.
What lick back? For what?
50 Diddy did something to him back in the day. I don't even know if it's a girl, if it's liquor. I don't know. But whatever it is, 50 is like, yeah, all right, cool. I'm gonna get you.
50 just don't. Do you know the history from them from back and forth when he was writing for him, from when he made the song and all that stuff? Like they've had history back and forth. Puffy called him to the interview, called him to try and sign him, and he was chatting shit to him about he can't do it because of Preem and all that kind of stuff. Like they've had bare back and forths in the industry with different stuff for nothing. Like 50's been on to Diddy for ages, bro.
50 plays a lot of mind games. He was trying to sign Mace, and
That was a lot of
Diddy
their
was
big
blocking
beef.
it.
Puffy wanted 2 million
And
for
then-
him. He wanted 2 million
and
for
that's
the
why
Mace
he
thing.
took
He
Mace.
wouldn't let the Mace
That's
deal
That's
go.
why he took
some of
Mace
their problems
shopping
as
in the
well.
window shopping video because of the shopping stuff that Diddy tried to do to him.
When 50 asked him, yeah, when Puffy said to him, oh yeah, like let's link up, man, let's go shopping. I pay for everything. 50 said, what? So who took it? Did you just offer to take me shopping? He said, you know what, I need to move from this man for I'll punch him up. They're saying, why are you getting so mad for? I said, that's what he said to Gal. Like, who's he talking to? Like, what does he mean? He wants to take me shopping. Like, he's on Puffy. He's on Puffy's neck. He's been on Puffy. And it's not because of some moral high ground or whatever, you're right. But it's because he's just onto him. But he's that kind of antagonist that if he had that information for a fact, why is he sitting on it for what?
He would sit on it. I'll tell you why.
Go on.
This is it, yeah. There's 2 ways of doing things, like, and I cannot understand Esther's approach. I'm not getting onto Esther, by the way. I understand Esther's approach because she's like, justice. There's justice and there's self-preservation. The ideal thing is if someone wants justice but they also want self-preservation, they won't go the route that Esther went, because if you go, yo, I'm gonna blow the lid off of everything, I know everything, so I'm gonna tell everyone everything. That's how you get two to the head, 1 to the chest very quickly. Like, it just when you got morals but you're not strategic, you're the first one to die in this game. Do you know what I mean? That's what happened. It's like, do you know, like Game of Thrones, like Ned Stark? He was like, he did the right thing, and he didn't have no tactics. So he went and told Cersei about the kids, and then he died. So when you're playing these high stakes games, you have to gather information, strategize, and say, okay, cool, I know a lot and I know everything, but how am I going to get this information out without compromising myself? And because I think Esther said, go to the FBI. Diddy's an FBI informant. You're probably going to his handlers if you went to them with this information. I think you went to the FBI and say, yo, Diddy's doing this and that. The FBI will be like, oh yeah, thanks for telling me. They'll be like, yo, our asset is compromised. Should we get rid of him? Nah, he's too useful. Let's get rid of that person that knows about it. Do you know what I mean? There's so many things you have to think about when you want to release information on someone that big. So if I was in Diddy or Cat Williams situation, I would be like, I don't even know what I'd do. I'd probably gather as much information as I can, build my case, find out who are my allies, because half of Hollywood's compromised. So you might confide in someone that's doing the same thing. And then you'd have to create a group of people that you know aren't on madness like them, get information. I don't know who you'd release it to because the FBI is compromised, or the other celebrities are compromised. I don't even know who you'd give that information to. You might have to give it to the press, someone in the press that you know isn't compromised, that will just release the story. You might have to give it to Alex Jones or something, or Candace Owen. I know you don't like them, but they will actually just release the stuff and they don't care what happens to them.
Wait, you know the thing about Diddy being an informant, is that a rumor? Is that because Kanye said it one time? Because Kanye said a lot of things, Chow.
No, it's not a rumor. He's an FBI informant.
For that, He's
an FBI asset. Every time he did something, so the shooting in the club, all that time, every time he did something, he had a handler. He had handlers that he'd basically go to and be like, oh, I've got myself in a mess again, sort it out. That's why if you look at his past, he's not like he's strategic. He's done so much mad stuff and got away with it for like 30 years. And you have to look back at it in retrospect of that. How can such a high profile black man get away with a shooting in the club, get away with X, Y, Z, and dirt free? It's because he had handlers that were like, yo, just keep doing what you're doing, blackmailing everyone, and we'll keep protecting you. Once you're no longer an asset to us, that's when all these things, we're going to blow the lid.
But then do we know what it is that he's helping them with?
It's the blackmail. It's the same as Epstein. He's a honeypot scheme. All this. That's the thing, though. It's mad because all this sexual deviancy stuff he's been doing is with the tapes. It's all to blackmail. So that he's just Epstein of the music industry. He's blackmailing celebrities and influential people so that for his handlers, for these FBI handlers, so that they can make him do their bidding. Look at if you look at how he started Bad Boy, he got like a couple million injection from Clive Davis. Now Clive Davis is a openly homosexual man, and Clive Davis wrote in his book that he had lovers. He had young lovers in the music industry that he never released their details, but he's got young lovers in the music industry that he groomed. So you can just extrapolate what you want from that. He got free money from Clive Davis to start his record label when he had no proven track record, and that's how he started Bad Boy. And he used the same the tactics that the honeypot sexual exploitation tactics that Clive Davis has used on other people. He started using on the people in the hip hop industry. Everything allegedly. I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah.
I'm going to look into this. That's so interesting. Because I thought an informant was something different. I didn't think an informant was to go and get people to commit crimes so the FBI can use it for the future.
Sexual blackmail. Yeah, that's a tactic. Like if you also look into J. Edgar Hoover, he's the one that started the CIA. Mm-hmm. He was also closet gay. And there's someone in I forgot the guy's name. One of the guys in the Jewish mafia got a private investigator to capture a picture of him getting pleasured, and then they used that to blackmail him so that he was in their pocket. So this has been happening since like the 40s. It's just the same. It's the same play, different generations. We're gonna catch Diddy, and then in 100 years time, because we don't look at history, someone new's gonna do it, and then we're gonna act like it's brand new. But they've been doing it generation after generation, and just renewing it every time someone gets caught.
So could get away with all of this then?
But at some time though, it's like it's just over.
Because do you think that then maybe he's done beyond maybe they gave him an inch to come out?
Yeah.
So so that could be because if all of this is an informant, blah 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 blah, then wouldn't he be looking at them as you guys have snaked me?
Yeah, but he's that's the thing. He's arrogant enough to think that he was untouchable. Jay-Z's probably just as mad, but he's very strategic that he behaves himself. The handler's like, okay, this one behaves, so we're not gonna. Do
you think Jay-Z's a handler as well?
Yeah, Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z and Diddy are both being handled by the FBI, but I feel like Jay-Z knows how to behave himself.
So crazy.
Wow.
Good morning, Stacey.
I don't believe that handler stuff at all, child.
Stacey just comes
Good
in
morning,
just
everybody.
like, yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning,
How's
girl.
everyone this morning?
All good, thank you.
Blessed and highly favored.
How are you, babes?
Amazing. I'm doing well. I was
Yeah.
gonna say I dropped in the chat a few minutes ago. I think Esther, you were talking about how you were questioning. You said that people like 50 Cent are complicit and should be held or should be looked at differently for their complicitness all this time, and you feel like them coming out is just them seeming to be or trying to give this idea that they have more, I don't want to say gist, but for lack of a better word, gist, or they know more other people. And I think while I am inclined to agree with you,
wait, quickly to clarify, Brent asked if they should be complicit. So I didn't actually answer why I think they should be complicit. But I said that there is, like, I do look at them differently for knowing all this information and doing nothing about it but going on podcasts and using it as gist. So I don't know if they should be complicit, because I just believe, because we talked about this yesterday as well with like his staff and stuff. I believe the person who committed the crime should be the person that committed the crime, and I feel like if you're in positions of power to assist that, then fair enough. But I wouldn't think his PA should be jailed in the same way that he should be jailed because they were complicit. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So so I didn't exactly answer, but I definitely look at them differently for sure.
I definitely think his PA should be jailed if she helped
I don't
aid
think
and
so.
abet.
Yeah, the staff are complicit. I'll give you that, but I don't know about other celebrities. But yeah,
I don't think they're complicit in a way that deserves criminal.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they've been threatened.
Criminal consequences, because you have to understand the power dynamic that goes on. And I think that same thing happens for the likes of this other celebrities, the likes of 50 Cent, et cetera, when you're dealing with somebody who has as much reach in different industries, as much power as the likes of P. Diddy. In an ideal world, I feel like you can say, you know what, when you see something, say something, right? Like that's just logically what makes sense to us. But I think someone talks very briefly about self-preservation. I jumped on this live very late, so I apologize. I'm repeating an idea that was said a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
When we talk about self-preservation, I do feel like there's a way that you can self-preserve while also being, I don't want to say strategic because that's not the word I'm going for here, but there's a way to go about assisting in seeing criminals get their time. And I don't feel like the best way to have done it was the likes of 50 Cent coming out the wazoo saying, this man is raping XY. Like, I don't think that would have done as much as we thought it would have done, because it would have just seemed like hearsay. Everybody, I'm sorry, if you have ever worked in the industry, been adjacent to the industry, have known people in the industry, Diddy has always been a weird ass man. Point blank, period. You might not have known the extent to which he's weird, or some people might know the extent to which he's weird. I've heard stories of people who have worked for him, have known people who have worked with him. He's been a weird man since God knows when. But it's not wise. It doesn't help anybody. In fact, it hurts you and helps no one when you go about it in the see something, say something thing. And when I feel like people like 50 Cent, the reason why I'm giving them grace might not be the word, but I'm cutting them a little bit of slack. I'm shooting them bail for when they choose to say as much as they're saying in moments like this. I feel like it's the same thing with the Me Too movement. When you see the door has finally been opened and people are opening their ears and eyes and now starting to believe, that is when I feel like it makes the most sense to come out and say everything that you know, because now it's not like you're shooting false narratives. How long has I'll Be Sure been saying P. Diddy is a weirdo? P. Diddy has been out here doing XYZ. How long has Cassie been saying it and nobody believed them?
You know what it is, yeah? It's easy. Everybody does this self-righteous stuff and pointing fingers and I will do this and I will do that and everybody's just chatting shit. I'll be so honest with you, man. Self-preservation is a real thing and it happens. And some people ain't even privy to certain stuff. Like I've been in industries from like and you hear things, you know things. I would judge people more, for knowing information and still hanging around with that person. If they don't tell whatever, I'm not I'm not vilifying anyone for that because nobody tells. There's thing industries from music, from footballers. There's things that we know about people that were. People don't just even for like the snitching culture. Like it's not a thing that people do. People don't just go and just talk people's business and do all that stuff. They'll just you know what? I'm just taking myself away from that worst ways. I'll just distance myself. I'm not gonna mix that. I didn't know whether it's right or wrong. I'm telling you, this happens every day. I know things about people that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like it's like, what are we talking about? Like, this stuff doesn't happen. Like, it's just in real life. People care about preservation of self. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's just the facts. That's just human nature. So again, I'm not holding anybody accountable for even like if you're hanging around, if you're knowing all this stuff and you're hanging around with him and that's why people will get onto that Jay-Z for making the songs with R. Kelly and all these kind of things. Even after the fact of knowing and I think you can hold that stance and get onto people that you know heinous things about people and you're still mixing up with them, still benefiting from your relationships with them and whatnot. I think you can get onto people that do that. But just knowing, I'm not judging no one for that because everybody knows bare shit about baby, but I know what they're talking about. And people, like I said, sit on the outside. This is the big outside looking and chatting shit, but no one does this stuff.
And timing is everything, isn't it? Because let's play it out in real time. If it was year 2000 and then like let's say someone found out what Diddy was on, and then they were a whistleblower and they told everyone, they would either get killed or they would just be painted as crazy or they would be blackballed or whatever, but nothing would be happening because the gatekeepers were in full effect and they were able to squash stories.
I mean, we saw it happen with many artists already.
Exactly. So Cassie just picked the right time. She did the right thing, but she also picked the right time because if you'd done it a couple of years earlier, maybe no one would have listened. Or they would have had enough power to squash her story. So timing is just as important as having the information as well, unfortunately.
Yeah. But my however to that, because I think there's a caveat here.
Yeah.
This is the angle that I will see some of these celebrities as strange.
Yeah.
You knew the likes of 50 Cent do have power. Regardless of whether it's as big as Diddy, you do have some movement in these industries.
Yeah.
At no point did you see any victim and use your power to help them at all. Like, and help doesn't mean I'm gonna make sure that Diddy is held accountable. It means if I see that you're in an uncomfortable position with Diddy, I'm gonna finesse you out of it, even if it's for a few minutes.
Cat Williams is doing that. I don't know about 50, but I know Cat Williams has stories of where he's helped people that were like victims and stuff.
Right, but I think those stories are far and few between, and that's the angle that I'm seeing some of these celebrity people as being weird, especially the ones that do have some type of pull.
Yeah.
But when it comes to being a whistleblower, that's a narrative that I think as common people, we have to understand what being a whistleblower means, and it's hard to be in that. It's hard to speak about that unless you're put in a situation where you understand the ramifications as it applies to you. We talk too much about the ideal, but in real life, things just don't happen that way.
Yeah. Look what happened to the guy, the Bowen whistleblower. He's look what happened to Typically, what happens is that he's dead. Look, typically, what happens is that the whistleblower has a worse fate than the perpetrator.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Guys, thank you for your contributions. We do have to move on, but yeah, much appreciated, guys, as always, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Stacey and Black Rub.
Yes.
What I say?
Yeah. Accidentally.
Just quickly, I've got two more things to talk about. Wendy Williams so one of the biggest things about this whole Diddy thing has been obviously people getting Wendy Williams' perspective as the queen of hot topics. But she also has been talking about Diddy's foolishness for years. While she was on radio, while she was on TV, she's been consistent talking about it. But anyways, she had an exclusive interview with what's called Diddy Online, Mail Online, and she basically long story short, she said she's not surprised. She says, what's really weird is that she's been told by so many people, including friends and family, Wendy, you called it. She says also that, it basically just says it's about time. It's about time that he got arrested and blah, 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 blah. And health-wise as well, because obviously Wendy has been going through a lot. She's had a aphasia diagnosis and she's got like a lot of health situations. But she also confirmed that she's doing good and she's healing, so that's good. And then lastly, Love Island winners, Mimi and Josh, broke up. So they were actually the first black couple to win the show. And they basically broke up. So Mimi put a statement out a couple of days ago saying, "Hi everyone, I know that a lot of you have been wondering about Josh and I, and we haven't been making appearances. The truth is we have been trying to figure it out since leaving the villa, but unfortunately things aren't going to work out between us right now. I know it's a big disappointment for a lot of you, which is weird to me, you know. Get a life. I know it's a big disappointment for a lot of you, as it is for me too. Your support for us hasn't gone unnoticed, and I'll forever be grateful. You guys are blah, 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 blah. God bless everybody.
Fumbled the bag.
You did.
Both of them
Actually,
did.
well,
Both of them did.
Who knows?
About trying to figure it out. They should be in OK magazine and up and down to get getting
They
some
were.
money.
Do you see the shoot that everyone keeps making jokes about? They were having a pillow fight.
Listen, they
We're
must
cussing
start
it.
making jokes and they stop doing it. They need to do more.
Anyways, that is it. We have a lovely guest with us today, so let's get into the interview.
It depends.
You'll be fine.
Give me
All
a
right.
second.
Okay.
Let's look.
Oh, chow. What a day.
You should have given me a bit more.
I was definitely singing
breakdown
different
now,
lyrics,
so
but I got the tune
I'm
right.
expecting this all. I thought like I was gonna come in and we'll be like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Here's a biscuit.
Here's a biscuit, here's some tea.
It's alright, it's cool.
We got something that will break the ice soon.
I hope so.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Depends how you look at it.
You see my jacket? Is that anyway? Cold.
So it should be fine. Brent is just, for the people watching, Brent is just sorting out the camera.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening on audio, we're still here. It's just silence. My favorite sound. Oh, and what a day is from Katie Price's son, Harvey. That boy's a mood.
Love him.
I don't know what happened this day, but he was like, oh, what a day. Oh, dear, absolute legends. But yes, let me adjust it a little bit. Yeah, we have a lovely guest with us today. Are you done? No, you're not done, are you?
No. His mother does too much, man.
Who, Katie? Yeah, she's a media whore. Not a regular one, just a media one. I don't call women regular ones. But yeah, it's crazy, man. The British side of media is so interesting. Like the white celebrity side of things is their lives are so different.
Why is she still relevant though?
Because she is. Because the British public, like, she's a British name. She's a household name. Even though people hate her and stuff, people hate her guts. But she's one of the people that the blogs constantly write about since she ever came out.
She's part of British culture.
She literally is part of British culture. So the way that the Brits do their own media is so different.
I feel like she's been in the media for like what, 20 years now? Something?
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah. Like
Crazy.
she's done it. She's done it all. She's had TV shows, released perfumes, released books.
Mm-hmm.
She's done it all. And she's just constantly just there. So interesting. But yes, we have a lovely... Ready, not done. This is a lot. Okay. 1 second, y'all. It's all right? Okay, we have a lovely, lovely guest today. Can you please let people know who you are, my love?
Hi, my name is Yaa Adoley, and I don't know what else to say. That's just me.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. So when Emos said we had an icebreaker, it's a quiz. Girl.
Okay.
That's why I said, depends how you want to look at it. But basically it said general knowledge quiz and this or that, like preferences.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? We do keep a score, but no pressure.
Okay.
If you don't know the answer to one, just say pass. And then so that the more you answer, the more scores you get.
Okay.
Okay, everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Good.
Mark's ready?
Let's go. No, I'm not ready.
So let's go. He's putting his hands. All right, should we start from Mark this time? Switch out.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
Do you know
should
Is that right?
you know?
Yeah, so Mark's me, you.
All right, cool.
All right,
You
3.
ready, yeah?
Is Mark's ready?
If I only want me to find out.
Okay, fair. If he's not ready, you get 5 points.
3.
Thank you. Take your time.
If you're not sure about any questions, yeah, just say pass.
If I don't know, okay,
yeah.
cool.
And then, yeah.
Okay. Brent?
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Abroad or at home?
Abroad.
100 minus 11.
81.
How many letters are there in the word blackness?
9.
Public school or private school?
Public school.
On what continent is Kuwait?
I don't know. Pass.
John Amos starred as Kunta Kinte in what film?
Don't know.
Spring or autumn?
Spring.
Sorry, Ghana has Ghana has what in the middle of its flag?
A star. Black star.
John Amos starred as Cleo McDowell in what film?
Coming to America.
Kemi Badenoch or Angela Rayner?
I don't know who they are.
That's fine, you're great. What is the main ingredient in fufu?
Depends. Plantain.
There is plantain fufu though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plantain,
What's John Amos's?
cassava.
Is it because it died?
Yeah.
Must be.
Yeah.
Fair.
Roots.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, Kunta Kinte.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
yes,
Kunta
yes,
Kinte
yes,
in that.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like, I feel like we didn't tell you. You only got a minute.
Yeah, they didn't tell me at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
It's all right there.
You can't feel bad about that. We're not going to be here forever. I mean, the time was going to stop at some point. To be fair, it is an important part of the game because you were taking your sweet time.
Exactly.
I know. Sorry.
No, it's all right, go on. It's okay. Okay, can you let people know, please, what you do?
What I do. So, generally, I teach about skin conditions, how to heal skin conditions naturally using holistic means, and also talk about essentially how the visibility of certain conditions, especially if they're chronic or like autoimmune, is a lot of the time connected to one's emotions because a lot of the time we kind of deal, especially in Western like medicine or like just the Western way of doing things, just medicating a symptom without actually looking at the root cause of it. So yeah, when I went through what I went through, I did a lot of research, a lot of learning, and I started to realize there's a lot more to this than essentially meets the eye. And so once I got into it, it was like a rabbit hole of information, and it just kind of, yeah.
Can you let people know what it was that you went through?
Okay, so essentially, I would say around 2016, between 2016 and 2017, my skin broke out in like eczema.
Yeah.
And it
How old were you
started
then,
off-
if you don't mind me asking?
That's a good question. How old was I? It's 2017. I would have been...
So 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago.
My maths is not great. I think 27, 28.
Okay.
27, 28. Yeah, 28, 29. So yeah, my skin broke out in eczema. I was between pregnancies at the time. And it started off quite bad. But I think I'd already started to do some research into like health and holistic health. And so it was sort of like, I'm going to tackle this from a holistic means. And then when I started kind of like clearing up my diet and using natural skincare and all these things, it just got worse and worse to the point where I was like,
Oh gosh.
what am I doing wrong? Like,
After you clean up your diet.
yeah.
But then was it like a purge?
Yes. Yeah, that's how I would describe it now. At the time, I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So I started cleaning up my diet, doing all these different things, and it was just getting so bad to the point where like I was literally covered from head to toe in it. So at this point, my mum and my dad were just like, what are you doing to yourself, sort of thing. So I remember I was supposed to start a job that day. It was my first day, and I woke up and my eyes were like swollen. It looked like someone had literally like beat me up. And I was calling my manager, I was like, I'm not supposed to start today, but I need to go A&E like today. So I went A&E, and the doctor was like, let me see you, like, you know, like undress or whatever. And he was just like, I've never seen eczema like this before in my life. Like, you're literally covered in it. And I was just like, yeah, I know. He was like, you cannot heal eczema just by changing your diet. Like, you have to use steroids. You have to use this. And that's the only way to manage it, basically. He was saying...
But that's when you're managing it, no, not healing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like, the only way you can, like, manage your eczema is by using steroids. When it kind of calms down, then you tailor off the steroids. And then when it flares up, you use the cream. But in my mind, I'm like, this goes against everything that I've now learned. So I remember at the time, I had two, like, essentially babies. I think my son was about 1 and my daughter was a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
And just the overwhelm was incredible because you've got 2 babies to deal with, and I was genuinely sick. So I took the steroids from him and I used it because I was like, I just needed some relief.
Just right now, yeah.
Yeah, like right now, I just couldn't do it. So I took the steroids home and I started using it every day. I think it was 3 times a day I was told to use it, and it did clear up. Like,
Was it tablets?
literally, steroid cream.
Cream,
It was
okay.
like a really high percentage of, I forgot what it's called now, epiderm or something like that.
Is it like a emulsifier?
Befnabate? No, it's a steroid cream and an actual steroid cream. So it cleared up really quickly, and I was like, okay, cool. I feel a lot better. But then, like, less than 2 weeks, because that was the prescription I was given. Use it for 2 weeks, 3 times a day. Like, towards the end of the 2 weeks, my hands started bubbling up. Then my scalp started bubbling up, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Called the doctor, and I was like, it's spreading, sort of thing. And he was like, you know what? Come back to the hospital, and we'll give you a steroid shampoo for your hair, and we'll give you a stronger steroid cream for your hands, where it's bubbling up on your hands, and just keep using it. And as soon as he said that, I came off the phone and I was like, I'm not doing it. Because I already sort of knew what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to just ride it out, because it's essentially never ending. If you're never going to find out what the root cause of it is, then you're just going to be on sort of like...
Just on it forever, man.
Exactly.
And it's got side effects that they won't tell you about because they're trying to right now sort out this eczema. And then when the side effects, God forbid, kick in, then they'll give you something else to manage that. You're just on a never-ending... But when you say you kind of knew what it was, what do you mean by that?
So initially, I'd already started like doing some sort of research. I remember the reason like this all kind of triggered for me in terms of my journey into holistic health and just looking into it more was... my father-in-law at the time got diagnosed with cancer, and my 1-year-old had started having like epileptic seizures.
No way.
But these didn't really kick off until he'd had his first set of vaccines. So to me as a parent, I'm like, my child was fine.
Yeah.
And now he's had these inoculations and now he's having seizures
fits,
all the time. So I was like, you're not putting another vaccine inside my child until I find out exactly what's going on. Because they were like, oh no, it's fine. You know, he's due for his MMR. And I was like, just no, it's not happening. So I was like, first, like researching as much as I could. What can we do with my father-in-law in terms of like helping him get better? What can I do like holistically or naturally with my son to like find out what the seizures are? And doing all of this research just made me kind of realize that there was something wrong with the mainstream medical system in terms of we're not actually fixing anyone's issues. We're just medicating
We're just
everything.
managing it.
So when it came to my skin breaking out, that was the mindset I already had. Does that make sense? So after I'd used those steroids for that period of time, it was like, you already know this, just stop it. And so I did. And it just went downhill from there, basically.
Is it your skin conditions?
Yeah, it literally came back within a week. So imagine I'd use the steroids and it cleaned me up
So
like
how long were you going to have to be
everywhere.
on steroids for?
There you go. This is the thing. And so it's crazy because when you look at like the quote unquote eczema community, because there's a large community of people online that talk about, you know, eczema and skin disease and how they've flared up. And there's a term called TSW that people talk about a lot, where it's called topical steroid withdrawal, where most people that have been on topical steroids for years, generally from when they're babies, most people have been on it for like 20, 30 years. It gets to the point where the medication doesn't do anything
work,
anymore.
yeah, because your body becomes immune to it.
becomes immune to it. And so you have to go through this process of withdrawing regardless of when you start. Do you get what I'm saying?
Then you get back on it. Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
and it's hell, honestly. It's the worst thing I've ever been through.
So then what did you do? How were you able to find what would help heal your eczema?
So,
Your skin is gorgeous.
key.
Gorgeous skin.
It wasn't an easy process.
Yeah.
I think mentally speaking, I think that's what
imagine.
affected me the worst.
2 new babies as well. Oh.
Yeah, it was a lot. But I think I always say to people, reading always helps. In terms of like, you have to do your own research on this because when you're going through a chronic illness, it doesn't even matter whether it's with the skin or not. Just generally, you're going through autoimmune disease, chronic illness. There's always going to be people telling you what to do in terms of like, oh, it's this, just do that. But I've always, or not always, but in the last few years especially, noticed that everyone is so individually different that they're like, they're like baseline things that everybody can follow, but you really have to find out what works
What's
for you. And so that was kind of the journey I was on. So the first time I went through this process, it was really just trial and error. Does this work? Does this work? How does my body respond when I eat bread? How does my body respond when I drink milk? Do you get what I mean? And then cutting out certain things, adding things back in, like stripping my personal care down to like the bare minimum, only using coconut oil, like say, or shea butter, not using like mixed stuff. Yeah, and just figuring out bit by bit what works for me. And it takes time. I think regardless of whether you're on the right path or not, so for example, like what you find what works for you, it doesn't just heal like that either. So a lot of the people I work with or people that message me, I'll be like, the first thing you need to fix is what you eat. That's the first thing. It always starts with nutrition first. And then people will be like, oh yeah, but I've been eating like a clean diet. I've been eating really well for like 2 weeks.
Doesn't take 2 weeks though.
It's not 2 weeks. Like if you imagine, most people get diagnosed, like generally speaking, with eczema or skin conditions when they're babies, when they're really young. So if you think, say you get diagnosed 3 years old, you've got eczema, and you start using steroids from the age of 3, you haven't worked out what is triggering you. You don't know like what you're allergic to, any of those things that you're sensitive to. Now you're 30. And you still don't know. You still don't know, exactly. So imagine like, okay, cool, I'm going to take out wheat, dairy, gluten or whatever else. Your body's been under duress for say 25 years. And then somehow we think in 2 weeks' time, my body's just going to fix itself. It takes time. And so I think that's another thing that people need to kind of keep in mind, that when you're dealing with any sort of chronic illness, even if you are doing the right things, it's literally just consistency and you knowing your body enough and trusting your body enough that it is healing no matter how long that process takes.
How long did it take for you to start seeing a difference in your skin?
I would say about 6 months. So once I was like in the swing of like, okay, this is how I eat, this is what I use, this is how I'm going to look after myself. I went into fitness as well. So at the time I was working, and so I couldn't like go to the gym because I had like little kids, as I said, but I would like find ways to move my body basically. So I got a bike and I'd be riding to work, and it was far. But I'd be riding to work every day, and that was just my way of like, okay, I'm really like getting into every area of, I guess, looking after my body. And it took about, I would say 6 months seeing a difference, like seeing the inflammation go down, etc. But I think from being completely covered, like 100% eczema from scalp to toe, like my skin was probably clear in like 18 months the first time.
What part of your diet did you change?
So I think I took out quite a lot in the beginning. So like wheat, dairy is a big one. Those are, I would say those are the two main things. I did go plant-based for a while as well, so took out meat, and just focused on eating like loads of like
vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, vegetables, fruit.
Yeah.
Just making sure that everything was as quote unquote clean as possible.
And how's your son with his fits now? Is he good?
Oh yeah. I think the last seizure he had was like, I think he was 4. He's 8 now, so he hasn't had seizures for a long time. But again, with research, just kind of like learning about like different triggers when it comes to like epilepsy. I don't think he has epilepsy. I do think it was just a case of he might have been allergic to something he was taking. Yeah. And so it was just a case of like almost quote unquote reversing like the ill effects. So I changed like a lot of his diet as well. So again, nutrition, it sounds so simple, but it makes such a massive difference. So just being careful what he ate, like, you know, like a lot of kids and the foods that they give kids have got like E numbers, a lot of colors, all these additives added to it. He wasn't allowed to eat any of that stuff because that's also affects you like neurologically, your brain. And over time, it just stopped. He didn't have seizures anymore. So
that's good.
Yeah.
On your page, trigger warning, guys. On your page, obviously, you speak about like emotional abuse and stuff, and the role that played. How were you able to, I guess, remove certain things from your diet? I know it was down to the food, for example, and not the emotional abuse. And like, how did you figure it all out?
It was a lot. I think it just takes time. I think I became aware of the emotional aspect of it the first time I was going through it, but I didn't realize at the time how deep it was. And so it was like I was able to voice certain things, but on the other side, there was a lot of like external factors that I felt like was still
like playing a part.
Yeah.
So is it like those things cause stress, and then that stress was impacting,
is the
manifesting.
trigger. Exactly. That's exactly it. So yeah, I think it plays a massive role. And again, with mainstream medicine or just like the way we do things here in the West, we don't really focus on like the day-to-day things that people go through that actually trigger the onset of disease, because we're so focused on dealing with the symptom than rather what's going on underneath the layers.
What made you say to yourself, okay, cool, I want to go the natural, holistic way?
I think it was seeing what happened to my son after those vaccines, and also seeing my father-in-law at the time going through cancer. I think at that point, everybody that I'd known at that time, at that age that had cancer had passed away, like literally everyone. And so to see him go through it, it was painful for me, because inevitably in my mind, I'm like, I don't want him to die.
Yeah.
So like I said, the research really started with him, and then it was kind of ironic that my son had that issue with the vaccines, and I was like, there's got to be, why is this not working? If this is like the standard, this is what we do, why is this not working? Do you get what I mean? So it was like going through that research phase and going down what I would call the rabbit hole, because you stumble on so much information and you sort of have to digest it. And I was like, okay, we're not going to follow the conventional route anymore, because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, what else can we do to almost take control of our health, our bodies, in a way that works for us, rather than being at the mercy of someone in a white coat that has no idea who you are.
Yeah, for real.
That's how I see it anyway.
So when you was researching eczema, what was that like? Did you find anything surprising that like a technique or method to deal with it that you just thought, oh, that's weird or whatever?
Well, I've seen some like stuff online about like bleach baths. That was something that's quite popular, like putting bleach, like literal bleach, washing in literal bleach.
Wow.
Domestos.
Yeah, basically.
That's crazy.
There's other
Sorry,
people that
domestos
talk about
is-
bathing in urine, like putting urine on your body. Like there's so many different like weird things that you can come across. But I didn't do any of that.
You never let no one piss on you?
Nah, I'm not. That's not my bag.
So like right now, what's your daily routine that has made all of this go away, and it's just your norm now? Like, what cream do you use? Like, what foods do you eat and not eat?
Okay, so today, because I feel like I've been through so many transitions of like ways of eating and stuff, I would say just keeping it simple. I don't know how else to explain it. So for example, I'll just go through my day. I mean, not today, because today was a rush. Like, okay, so I'd get up. I usually have like a glass of lemon or lime water.
Okay.
So generally speaking, that's supposed to help your digestive system flush. First thing in the day. Then I have a cup of herbal tea. Like, I literally swear by herbs. I talk about that on my page a lot. Like, herbs makes a massive difference.
So when you say herbal tea, like ones you make or
yeah,
you buy them? Okay.
I buy the herbs, blend them myself, like different things. Herbs that support digestion, herbs that support the skin, herbs that support your immune system. Like, these are all things that are really important. So yeah, have a herbal tea, and then generally up until 12 o'clock, I don't like eat anything but fruits.
Okay.
So like, I just eat fruits. It can be anything. It could be a smoothie. It could be just fruits whole. Like, usually grapefruits are really good. I think citrus is really good to have in the morning, just generally speaking. And then after 12 o'clock, then I'll start eating different things, like salads. Salads are really big for me, making sure you've got loads of like different
Greens in there.
greens,
Yeah.
leafy greens, seeds, nuts. And then I'll kind of keep my meals, like heavier meals, towards the end of the day, like between 4, 6, 8 o'clock.
What kind of like, what's an example of like a heavy meal? What did you have yesterday?
What did I have yesterday? I had fonio and agusi, actually. Do you know what fonio is?
No, I don't know. Next
Fonio-
question.
Fonio is fonio is a grain. It's actually a West African grain. It's not very well known, but it's similar to quinoa but smaller.
Okay.
And it's really like good nutrition wise, because it's high in iron and calcium.
Okay.
But it looks a bit couscous. It looks a bit like
I was gonna say,
couscous.
I think I know what that might be.
Yeah, it's white. It's like, yeah.
Is it typically eaten with egusi? Oh,
I just freestyle at this
I was
point.
gonna get him to type anagusi so I can see together.
You can really eat it with whatever you want. It's a bit like rice. Like you would have
Okay.
rice with, say, anything.
And did you cook it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really quick as well. Like,
That's so interesting.
it cooks quick. That's
And what are
why.
you having for dinner today?
I'm probably going to make benko and okra, to be honest.
Okay.
I've been given a request, so I'm going to try and honour it.
You've actually got like a skincare line, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's not fully out yet. It should be like fully out, hopefully by the end of November, December.
Okay.
What are you targeting with the skincare line?
So really it is it's formulated for those that suffer from skin conditions, but anybody can use it. So moisture, antibacterial, antiparasitic. So those are things that people, again, may not realize could be underlying when it comes to their eczema, antifungal as well. But again, anybody can use it. So it's going to have a soap. There's 2 soaps in a range, a cream and body oil.
And these are all things that basically you kind of just did the trial and error when you was going through everything. So these are things you pretty much kind of use on the day to day as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So like your cream, is it kind of mixed with other things now? Or because I remember you saying you kind of stripped everything back to like maybe just coconut oil, shea butter and stuff. What's your cream like today?
So the base of it is shea butter.
Okay.
And it's formulated with herbs as well. So like, again, herbs that are like antifungal, antibacterial. So when you're using the cream, it's literally, I guess, dealing with the issues that are on the surface of the skin. Yeah.
And you got some ebooks.
Yes. Yes, the ebooks. And I feel like for me, the ebooks are the most important thing.
Okay.
I think, especially when you've got like a story like mine, and I guess the transformation is quite dramatic. That's the first thing people have always asked me. Like from when I first started sharing like my journey with my skin, that's the first thing people usually ask. Like, oh, have you got skincare? Have you got skincare? But as I said, because of all the research that I've done and what I've actually been through, I'm like, for me, it would never have been enough for me to just be like, okay, cool, like I've made a skincare range, because it's like, that's not it.
It might not address your issue as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So again, a lot of people will message me and be like, well, I'm using this, it's not working. I'm using this, it's not working. For me, I will always say, generally speaking, if people message me and they say, okay, I've had eczema for X amount of time, I've tried everything, nothing's working. I'm like, how do you feel? What's going on with your emotional? Like, where do you live? Who do you live with? What's your family like? What's your like domestic, your day-to-day like? Do you like your job? Like, these are things that people would never think of. But at the end of the day, these are all things that play a part. So for me, I was like, I will do a skincare range, because I'm definitely passionate about skincare. I love skincare, especially when like, a lot of things that I've used haven't necessarily worked for me. I'm like, this needs to be a bit more tailored.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's one thing to give people a product, but what's the point in giving people a product that you don't know how to actually heal themselves intrinsically from within? It just, for me, just defeats the purpose.
Does eczema affect black people differently than other people?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they usually, like, generally speaking, eczema is a condition of the emotions. And so as long as you can feel an emotion, it's going to affect you, especially if you're predisposed to it in that way.
Does it present differently in different types of skins? It's mad. I was having this conversation with my brethren probably like last week, because I was saying like eczema and stuff, or like psoriasis and those kind of things, like extreme cases of it as well. Always, it looks madder on white people to me for some reason.
Because
like,
our
it
skin,
looks flake. I don't know. Like, you get what I'm saying? It just looks crazier to me.
because their skin goes red,
Yeah. So I was,
but you can't see our red. But then, you could like it doesn't. You can't see the colors.
Yeah.
You can't see the green, the purple, the red on our skin. So it looks calmer when it's on a white person. Because what was that? It was a monkeypox or something like that. What was it?
Yeah.
It was a skin condition that was trending a while ago.
Yeah.
And it looked crazy. But obviously, as a black person, when you're looking at the black skin, you know that something crazy is going on there. But if a white person was to look at it next to each other, you would say the white person's one is worse, but they have the same condition.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you say it's the same all around, really.
Yeah. I would, yeah.
It's sad because that's about the bias that we face medically, because it doesn't look
It
that
doesn't
serious.
look the same. Yeah. That's another thing that's always been sort of in the skin space when it comes to like diagnosing conditions. I forgot his name now, but he's got this platform on Instagram where he created this sort of like not handbook, but like a directory. That's the right word. Where basically he's put like there's loads of different skin conditions. Obviously, eczema, psoriasis would be the main ones, but loads of different skin conditions that doctors don't actually know what they look like on black skin. And so he created this directory where you can type in a condition and it will come up with, this is what it will look like on black skin. Because a lot of people are also like misdiagnosed, or they'll come into the doctor with like skin conditions and they would all get labeled exactly the same thing, and it might not even be that. So
What's that thing that Michael Jackson allegedly had?
vitiligo.
Yeah, I won one time. I just had like dry patches on my skin. Doctor talking about I've got vitiligo. I said, girl, be FFR. Like, be serious. Then she's trying to Google. I said, you know what? I don't know what you're paying medical school. Clearly, it's on offer. But no, that is a thing.
I remember when he came out with that. It was like a year or two ago, right?
Who?
That black doctor who came out with that directory. I think we spoke about it on the show briefly. That's crazy. It's crazy. Oh man, I hate that I have to go soon. No, I'm annoyed, man, because there's so many different things that we spoke about that I would love for people to hear as well, innit? But we're gonna have to bring you back again.
Really? Really? This early?
Girl.
Leaving the house this morning was chaos.
Yes.
Absolute chaos.
It's really because it's school time. When it's school time as well, it's 10 times worse.
Absolute chaos. But yeah, I'll come back.
Good. I did want to ask you though, in terms of like, I guess, like we mentioned before, the emotional abuse and stuff, did you go through therapy as well? Like, how did you deal with all of that as well?
Yeah, I think I would say it started with therapy. So when I was going through the situation I was going through, I was aware of it, but I didn't fully understand the extent of it, the breadth of it. And I was just almost suffering in silence. And I would also kind of like insert here that because I was very embedded in a church or church system or church beliefs, whatever, I feel like that also played a part in it as well, because it was like, I feel like when you go through things that are, I would say, taxing in that sort of way, there's a lot of like glossing over it in terms of not really addressing what's going on, but it's like, you know what, just pray.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Just pray.
When you say emotional abuse, what are you talking about? Because I don't understand what you mean. You talk about your feelings and you beating yourself up, or you have people making you feel?
No, I was in a emotionally abusive relationship.
I'm saying there's someone else inflicting this on you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, just...
Yeah, so I feel like in that sense, a lot of it is sort of glossed over.
Would you say... Sorry, go on.
No.
I was just going to say, so basically, in some sort of way, they were kind of enabling it.
Yeah.
Because they weren't allowing you to sit down, get to the crux of it, and remove it from your life.
Yeah, it was 100% enabling. Okay. And again, these are things that I wouldn't have known at the time or been able to articulate at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, you know what, it's fine, you know, just pray, you know, we're going to work on this. And it's like that idea of, you know, being a good wife or being, you know, what's it called, Christ-like, to the point where you're like, this person is abusive.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to even be able to say that out loud, because in my head I'm like, it's not abusive, but just, do you know what I mean? And just sort of like white knuckling it, because you feel like you're supposed to, you're called to. So yeah, it got to the point where I was working a job, right? And it was becoming a lot. At this point, I'd gotten over like most of the skin issues, but I still had other things going on, like headaches, like tiredness. Like I just wasn't functioning properly. And it started to play out at work. I would be at work and sometimes I'd just be bursting into tears.
Wow.
And it would be like, what's going on? Like, your work is not what it should be. And I remember getting called into a disciplinary meeting and I broke down literally, and I was just like, life at home is a mess. And they were like, well, as part of your work, what do they call it? Your work benefits and whatever, we can pay for you to go to...
Oh, therapy?
Yeah,
to
therapy.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I was like, yeah, I think I need it. I think it'll be good. And so I started going to therapy. And at first, the first couple sessions were just, I wouldn't say a waste of time, but I just couldn't even talk. I would just cry.
Wow.
So say if it was like 50 minutes long, that's how long the sessions were, I'd cry for about 45 minutes. Wow. And then once I'd calm down, I'll start talking and be like, well, see you next week. But yeah, eventually I did get to the point where I was able to like start talking. And as I'm explaining and relaying to him, because you know, they ask you loads of questions like, what was your upbringing like? How was your relationship with your mum? How was your relationship with your dad? And they go through like, again, things that you just don't really think about. Almost like nitpicking before they get to the point or the thing that you want to talk to them about. Does that make sense? So it's like we're going through all of these different things, going through life, going through like teenage years, whatever. Get to this point with the relationship now, and he's just sort of like connecting the dots in terms of how I process certain things, why I accept certain things, why do you think this is normal? You know, because they ask you questions like that. And again, these are not things that I ask myself. So it's like, okay, you said that, you know, your husband does this, that, and the other. If somebody else told you that's what their husband was doing, what would you call it? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm like, but he's a Christian. We're all Christians. We all go to church. Like,
The
this
devil
is,
was in heaven at one point.
well, there you go. So I was just like, again, just articulating all of these things and really bringing it to a forefront. I started to realize that a lot of these things were literally like weighing on me heavily because it wasn't something I was able to articulate. And so again, researching all of these different areas, when you start to see how intricate the human body is, you'll be like, this is mind blowing because everything is so closely connected. So if you think your emotions, you know, there's a book called When the Body Says No, and it talks about how your like the place in your brain that processes your emotions is also connected to your hormones, connected to your nervous system, and connected to your immune system. And so the way the body works, it doesn't like differentiate different things. It just feels what it feels. And so say, I don't know, something happens, there's an incident happens, an event that happens, your body is processing these emotions, but it's also releasing chemicals and hormones into your body to deal with those, whatever it is that's going on at that time. And so if I'm going through what I would call an abusive marriage or an abusive relationship, I might not be fully able to articulate it. But my body knows exactly what's happening.
Your body's stressed and reacting to that.
Exactly. So it's doing all of this stuff. And I'm like, my skin's going crazy. Everything's going crazy. But I didn't realize that's what it was stemming
Emotional
from.
health was down, yeah.
Exactly. So I think therapy was really the point where I think things started to really change because it was like now I could name things and I was able to address them like exactly how they were. So I think it makes such a massive difference.
That's really good.
Are you still doing it today?
Therapy?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I think the last time I was in therapy was, I think, 2020.
Okay.
2020. I mean, I would go back. My therapist is not actually here right now, but yeah, he's amazing.
Hasn't died?
No. He's, I mean, he's not in the UK right now. He moved abroad, but
No, if your therapist is here right now, I said in a
That
very
sounds
somber
like
voice.
he's coming back.
No, it sounded like a transition. Because then everybody's like, he's not here right now. And
No,
I'm
he's here,
like,
he's
oh, like, come on.
he's alive.
Okay, thank
but yeah,
Jesus.
I'll definitely go back, but it wouldn't be like in the same
In the
same-
mindset
yeah.
or headspace I was in before,
Absolutely.
where I'm coming to you broken. Like it would just be like, I don't know, just to chat, I guess.
Maintenance.
Yeah, maintenance. Yeah.
So interesting.
It would just be that.
Love it.
We got 3 questions to ask you.
Okay, go for it.
All right, cool. Tell us something that people are usually surprised to learn about you.
About me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, people are usually surprised when I say I've got 4 kids.
You got 4
Oh.
kids?
See?
No way.
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
You look amazing, boy.
I'm surprised.
Thank you. See?
I'm not shocked.
That was the first thing that came to my head. I get the same
wow.
reaction every single time.
How old is your oldest?
16.
Serious?
Shut the front door. You got 16-year-olds?
More surprises.
No, you look really good.
Thank you.
The melanin,
Wow.
you see? I can't get
Nah,
you.
because some people don't remember it's cracked on one kid. So that ain't even it. She takes care of herself, clearly. Oh, and how old is your youngest?
3.
Wow. That's amazing.
Well done, man.
No, that's amazing.
Okay.
Beautiful. Well, that did it.
Yeah,
That's the
for
most
real.
surprising one I've ever had, actually.
Definitely.
Okay.
What would you say is your biggest life lesson?
Ooh, that's a hard one. My biggest life lesson. I know it sounds really cliche, but I would say love yourself first. I think everything flows out of that.
Word.
Literally.
I feel like I hate that it sounds cliche, but it's not practiced. It's not practiced in the way that it's claimed to be cliche. Because a lot of people don't.
Don't do it. Yeah.
But it's very
That's
important.
facts.
And a last question is basically a question from the last person that came, the last guest.
Okay.
And so you're going to ask a question for the next person.
Okay.
Right? So the question is, if there's one thing that you want to leave on this earth, what would it be?
Ooh. One thing I want to leave on this earth.
Not Brent. Sorry, he said them children. And I said, well, not Brent.
If I could leave anything, I think it would be like having done enough work in the arena that I'm in now, that people would change the way they look at their health. So in terms of like, instead of medicating symptoms, just change the way we look at chronic illness and autoimmune disease.
Get to the root of it.
Yeah, get to the root of it.
Okay, cool.
Do you think it begins like getting to the root of it, begins with research?
Yeah, because if you don't know, how do you apply anything? I think literally everything that I'm doing now and everything that has brought me to where I am now has been because I just started to read. If it wasn't a book, it was online. I just wanted to know, okay, what is this? How does this work? So I do think it does start there.
Interesting, yeah.
And what question do you want to leave for the next guest?
If there was anything you could go back and change, what would it be?
Okay. Okay. I like that.
Good question.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming.
So welcome.
You've already promised that you're going to come back again.
She said, did I promise? I hope it would have. Even like maybe when your skincare is out. You end in November this year, right? It's next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
Well, yeah, maybe when it's out, come
next
back.
month. Yeah.
You didn't know it was next month?
End of this year.
That's how I was like next month. But yeah, when it
Next
definitely.
month is the end of this year.
Trust,
Mm.
that's
Yeah,
true,
innit?
you know, actually. Next month is the end of the year. Damn.
Exactly. It's gone so quick.
Damn. But no, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
welcome.
man,
Appreciate
100%.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Yes.
Get to the last headlines.
Nope.
Nope.
Isn't me done already?
It was 6 that was
Nah,
done.
they took, you know.
Oh, okay. Cool.
What do you mean?
All the time off you
Well,
took.
are you so stupid? You left me there one man up for 2 weeks by myself. You had company. What are you talking about?
First of all, where was I?
You was gone.
Where did I go?
You was gone for 3 weeks.
Are you talking about sabbatical? That don't count.
Why?
That is a mental health month.
It coincided. It coincided with E-Man gallivanting.
He was gallivanting. His is not real. That's who you should get onto. Don't go to me.
Don't begrudge me my little holiday after I was down there holding down the fort.
You did hold down the fort, you know. You did. But that's the joys of having 5 cast members.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, see, I was going to say as well.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
You're welcome.
What a babe.
This is gonna be fast. Don't worry.
Okay.
Love to meet you, later.
See you.
All right. So our last headlines for the day is about. Can you get out? Can you even get out? All right. Can you get out?
Are you parked in front of him?
Is he parked in the driveway?
Yes.
Then yeah, I'm right in the middle.
You'll have to give it to Yaa then.
Wait,
Give it a hit.
E-Man.
Nah, he's leaving the car actually.
Oh, he's leaving the car.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So our last headlines for the day. Oh, is he?
Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Our last headlines for the day says Starmer says UK stands with Israel and he is deeply concerned. The Middle East is on the brink. What brink? Ain't it like cracking? This ain't the brink. Like it's going down. What's man talking about?
Brink of war, innit?
But I've seen war. I saw it.
Now you're seeing
It's active.
the prelude.
You say that's the prelude to war.
This is the prelude, man.
God damn. Sir Keir Starmer has said Britain stands with Israel. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry, bro.
Thank you very much.
Sir Keir Starmer has said Britain stands with Israel and warned he is deeply concerned that the Middle East is on the brink. In a televised address from Downing Street on Tuesday evening, the Prime Minister condemned an attack by Iran which saw around 200 missiles launched into Israel on Tuesday, 7:45 local time. Sir Keir, who was on the phone with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when the assault was launched, said the rockets were aimed at civilian targets and it is too soon to assess the impact fully. Israel has vowed there will be repercussions following the attack, which Iran said was in retaliation for the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon last week. Asked if the UK will be prepared to use British military capabilities to help Israel defend itself against Iran, which backs the militant group, the Prime Minister said, this, as you'll appreciate, is an evolving situation. So, yes, basically. Our second headline, Nigeria president pleads for patience amid tough economy. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu has pleaded with his compatriots for patience as they continue to grapple with a tough economic situation. In an Independence Day speech, Tinubu defended his controversial economic reforms, saying they were necessary and were beginning to bear results. He also insisted Nigeria was winning the war on the violence that has killed thousands in the north over recent years, a declaration that was seen far-fetched to some. Protesters in the capital, Abuja, as well as Lagos, are using the 64th anniversary of independence from the UK to denounce what they see as the government's poor handling of the economy. After coming to power last year, Tinubu removed a subsidy that kept the price of fuel low for Nigerians. He also scrapped the policy of pegging the naira to the US dollar, instead allowing the market to determine the price of the currency. This caused the naira to plunge in value, at one point hit all-time low. This, along with the ending of the fuel subsidy, has been factors in the recent rise of cost of living. In Tuesday's address, Tinubu said his administration had no choice but to put the economy on a more sustainable path. He also noted that numerous other countries across the world had seen an increased cost of living. And our last headline for the day says Sean Diddy Combs faces more than 100 new assault allegations. So more than 100 people are to sue rap musician Sean Diddy Combs for sexual assault, rape, and sexual exploitation, a US lawyer has said. Texas-based lawyer Tony Busby said that some of the alleged victims include minors who were abused when they were as young as 9 years old. He added that that 25 of the alleged victims he is representing were minors. This marks the first time that Mr. Combs has been accused of sexually abusing children. The allegations span between 1991 to as recently as this year, with the incidents taking place in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami, Mr. Busby said. He added most of the incidents occurred after 2015. Most of the plaintiffs, he said, alleged they were date raped after parties hosted by Mr. Combs that were held at well-known venues as well as private residencies and hotels. Mr. Busby said the parties were either to mark an album release or were New Year's Eve parties or US Independence Day parties. Others occurred at what he said were auditions. And it's time to pay some bills. And our last segment of the day, we'll quickly react to some sports. Let's get into the reaction. Welcome to the reaction, people, where I react to the sports headlines. Obviously, I've only just gone back on British Soul and I'm still all over the place. I had filming to do yesterday, so I missed the Champions League game. Shock, horror. I got home at half time and I went to put it on and it said 2-0 Arsenal. And I thought, I need to watch this. Who needs to see this? So I don't know anything about what happened, but Champions League football, let me read out some results for you. Red Bull Salzburg lost 4-0 to Brest. Stuttgart and Sparta Prague drew 1-0. Arsenal beat Paris Saint-Germain 2-0. Barcelona whooped Young Boys 5-0. Bayern Leverkusen beat AC Milan 1-0. Dortmund whooped Celtic 7-0. And Inter Milan battered Cerveno Zvezda, I can't say that name, 4-0. And PSV and Sporting drew 1-0. And Man City beat Slovan Bratislava 4-0. And the only thing that they want me to talk about, we spoke about already, is about the 2-0. I'll give you more content behind it. Context. Arsenal produced a professional display to beat a youthful Paris Saint-Germain side 2-0 at Emirates Stadium and claim their first Champions League win of the season. The Gunners opened the scoring in the first half with Kai Havertz ghosted between two defenders to beat Gianluca Donnarumma to Leandro Trossard's teasing cross with a towering header. Arsenal demonstrated their set-piece prowess for the second goal with Bukayo Saka, normally the provider, this time the scorer, as his near-post delivery from wide on the right bounced through the crowd of bodies to outfox Donnarumma and fly straight in. Arsenal had chances to extend their lead, but Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli were denied by the PSG goalkeeper. PSG created opportunities as well, with Nuno Mendes hitting the post and John Neves striking the bar. Arsenal withstood PSG's pressure and secured their first Champions League win of the season. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You want to say anything about your game?
No, it's again just expected, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're at that stage. We're at that stage. United used to be at that stage, you get me? So you understand how I'm feeling. It's all right, man. It's regular proceedings.
Gassing beating a poor PSG team at home. I hear it. That's cool.
What did you say?
Nothing.
I know some people saying that we were holding on to the lead.
What, towards the end?
Yeah.
Oh, they were
they were popping it about.
You withstood the pressure.
Yeah.
That counts for something.
Of course it does. I mean, we're 2-0 up, right? We don't have to go on and score more. But PSG, they did look good. They looked good. They just didn't have any end product in it.
Must be nice.
Yeah. We looked less cohesive as we normally look. And that type, the possession that they had compared to ours at home.
Wrap this shot up,
It's 2-0, bro.
Yeah, whatever.
2-0, bro.
Whatever. All right. Well, welcome to the end of another great show. Obviously, it's Black History Month. It was big up Guinea on its independence. What headlines did we read? In some horrible news, there was a 14-year-old girl seriously hurt in an acid attack. We had a great discussion on what you're saying topic of the day. I wasn't privy to it.
Might say he wasn't here.
Because I came a bit late, but apparently it was a real good one. Also, there's hundreds missing. As the Helene death toll rises to 135, thoughts are with them. We done some word on road. R.I.P. John Amos. He passed away. What else? We had a long word on road. What was that? Was that more Diddy stuff?
Diddy.
Oh, he's a bad man. We had a wonderful, wonderful guest and a great interview. Big up Yaa each and every time. If you heard me holding it down. Make sure you check that out. And I'm guessing that was about it. There were some other news in sports. Arsenal done something. I was like, I don't know. They won, something like that.
I know.
Huh?
Regular
stuff.
That is all right, man.
That was it, man. But it was a good show, man. You know the routine. We're going to be here same time, same place tomorrow. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And yeah, see you in the morning.
Don't worry. Next week, Margs will be back to delivering done out here. He's still recouping from his fantastic vacay.
Yeah.
And one day he would tell us all about how DR actually was.
So should I just
I was
have
going
it?
to ask you if you had a tan. You look like you got a tan.
This is my
Yeah.
natural colour. What are you talking about?
Oh, you look like you got a tan.
You can't fool that.
Are you talking about I'm the displaced African? If I was born where I'm supposed to be and live where I'm supposed to be, what would I wouldn't
Yeah.
tan. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you just look natural.
This is my natural.
Yeah, I get it.
This is my natural form.
I get it. I agree.
I'm lesser than hair.
I hear it.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Doesn't count, to be honest.
Huh?
Doesn't count.
Why?
It doesn't count because you spend most of your time here.
Exactly.
You can't identify as a browner man. It's not how it works, mate. Sorry.
I identify as a browner man, bro. This is how I'm supposed to be. So you get it.
When like Caucasian people basically go on holiday for a few weeks,
They're from the mountains, you madman.
they turkey, and then they come back and say, "This is how I naturally am."
They couldn't do that.
Can that fly?
Their natural habitat
There you go.
is
Thank you very much.
caucasus.
I'm just saying, same principle.
Can you say that?
Huh? The natural habitat is mountains and swampland. You can't say that. My natural habitat is in the sun.
Okay, sir.
He's got a point.
Haters gonna hate anyway, man. It's cool.
He's got a point.
Yeah, there's no done it here, man. Researchers ain't researching. Throw something in there for me tomorrow.
Researchers, this is Emmanuel.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, Emmanuel ain't working. I've been gone for ages. These are the same things that was there when I left.
What?
These are the same things that were there when I've left. I've done all of these.
Things women pray for?
Huh?
Things women pray for, what's that? And Hulk Hogan took the piss, what's that?
Oh, that one was rubbish. But we've seen the man kick it. I've done the FedEx. I've done the FedEx driver with the thing. We've done the pasta where you anointed the woman with
So
the oil.
you've just done the first two?
No, the man so happy he backflipped his wife and kicked her. I've done that. We've done things women pray for. The only one I ain't done is the Hulk Hogan one. It's media. I don't want to do it.
No, that's fair. I just didn't know that Emmanuel was slipping on his job. But
What, you think
any
I'll just-
opportunity,
these are
any opportunity to basically heal that up, I'm here for it, bro.
these are old. That's why it's not me.
I'm here for
Can't
it.
find the help nowadays, man.
This is it. It's true.
Hey, I'm out of here, man.
All right, later.
Peace.